It's time for Mount Vernon Rams baseball on WMIX, on your radio at AM 940 and online at mywithersradio.com. Rams baseball is presented by the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams, Banterra Bank. Banking with local style. The Mount Vernon Rams on WMIX are also sponsored in part by Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us, Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to personal banking. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital. Raising the bar. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. Rend Lake College. Visit your virtual counselor at rlc.edu. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois, Heartland Accounting, All Stars and Stitches, Bean Insurance, Central Christian Church, and People's National Bank. It's time to join Chris Hugo and Danny Zerwinski in the 94 Sports Mobile Studios for Mount Vernon Rams baseball. The Rend Lake College pregame show starts now.
And good afternoon. We welcome you to Bethalto Civic Memorial High School, where the Mount Vernon Rams look to improve their record to 3-0 on the year. They are 2-0 coming in against the Eagles. This is the Eagles' first game of the season. Glad to have you with us. Chris Hugo is with you. Danny Zerwinski, of course, is on assignment today. He will not be joining me in the booth. Flying solo today, and what a great atmosphere we have already for you. Just a nice facility they have here in Bethalto. Of course, forestry and vegetation, of course, provides a nice backdrop to center field. The dimensions here at Bethalto Civic Memorial. Hate calling it Bethalto Civic Memorial, but maybe that paints a better glimpse of a picture for you back at home. Civic Memorial High School, their baseball field here, a nice baseball field, of course, a grass infield, and very familiar setting to Brennan Klein Field. So the dimensions here are 325 down the left field line, 325 down both lines, actually 380, 390. Does that affect towards straightaway center? This is your Rend Lake College pregame show, of course. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment today. I'm Chris Hugo here with you on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Why didn't you hear that on your Rend Lake College pregame show? You can get a quality education and save thousands. This is your virtual counselor at rlc.edu. Coaches/managers will meet behind the plate with the home plate umpire, so we will use that as an advantage to go ahead and take our first break of the afternoon. This is the Rend Lake College pregame show on WMIX.
Stick a reminder on your phone. Jot it down on the calendar. Or tie a string on your finger. Don't miss the Saturday Sports Show every week after the 8 o'clock news on AM 940 and mywithersradio.com. Scores, guests, content, networking, knowledge, the occasional argument, yada, yada, yada. We do it all. You might say we're a little versatile. It's the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and mywithersradio.com, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital.
Save some green with a free checking account from People's National Bank. A free checking account from People's National Bank comes with a free Visa check card, free online banking, free bill pay, and unlimited check writing. Save time, stamps, and the hassle with a free checking account from People's National Bank. Stop by either of our 2 locations in Mount Vernon today for details on how you can make your money bloom with a free checking account from People's National Bank.
People's National Bank, member FDIC, Visa check card and bill pay, non-usage fees may apply.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Our new Mount Vernon location is bigger and better than ever, allowing us to be the best at repairing your ride and offering premium detailing. We're fully equipped to handle your vehicle and get it back on the road faster and like it rolled off the showroom floor. Landers Collision Centers believes in maintaining the highest quality repairs in the collision repair industry. We also believe in making sure your insurance claim is handled quickly and even give you a car to drive while we restore yours. Now, we're also equipped to offer everyday premium detailing. We'll restore that showroom shine and that new car smell. That's right. We'll be more than happy to clean up your ride and get it ready for any occasion. Any vehicle that comes to Landers with over $2,500 in damages is entitled to 2 absolutely free details per year, with an opportunity to keep our work looking spectacular as long as you own your vehicle. This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers in Mount Vernon. Big or small, Landers fixes and details them all. Call us at 1-888-LANDERS. Whenever you need us, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
This is Mike Reese. You're listening to the Rams on WMIX.
And welcome back to Bethalto Civic Memorial High School. Actually, we're nearby Civic Memorial High School. Nice little jaunt to get here from the high school. Beautiful facility they have here in Bethalto as the Eagles start off their season against your Mount Vernon Rams. The Rams come in 2-0 with wins over Salem and Pinckneyville to speak of already. Winning yesterday at home against Pinckneyville 11-1 in 5 innings. They defeated Salem to open the season on the road on Tuesday by a final of 3-2. Glad to have you with me here this afternoon on your Rend Lake College pregame show. Rend Lake College offers over 100 degree and certificate programs for thousands less. Visit your virtual counselor at rlc.edu. rams.edu. As we will get to know your Rams batting order here in just a moment, it is presented by Central Christian Church, where incredible things are happening every Friday night and Sunday morning. You can watch their Friday night and Sunday services online. Log on to thenewcentral.com. Central Christian Church, loving God and loving people. As we will get to know your Mount Vernon Rams batting order, Zach Jones is at short. He'll lead off. Batting second out center field is Landon Thomas. Colin Young is your designated hitter. He bats in place of the pitcher Tyler Ellis. In the cleanup spot is your catcher Grant Garrett. Zane Saunders bats fifth place first base. In the fifth hole is Pat Bradford. He's out in left field today. Patrolling right field, he is batting seventh. Where's number 7, Nathan Holt? Sawyer Harrison gets to start at third in place of an injured Colton Metter. And batting ninth and rounding out your batting order for the Mount Vernon Rams is your second baseman, Matt Williams. Defensively, of course, for Civic Memorial, they'll throw Vogel out there on the hill. He is a right-hander who wears number 13. It'll be Howard behind the plate, Helmkamp at third, Fensel at short, Linton second, and Fair is at first base. Your outfield from Montserrat will be Moore, Pinkerton, and Ricci here for Civic Memorial. Glad to have you with us once again. This is your Ridley College pregame show. Ridley College offers over 100 degree and certificate programs for thousands less. Visit them online at rlc.edu. Your first pitch temperature should be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 75 degrees here in Bethalto. The potential of thunderstorms in the forecast until about the 6 o'clock hour here in the St. Louis Metro East. We'll see how that plays out here this afternoon. Right now, clear skies, and again, a temperature of around 75, 76 here in Madison County. Zach Jones, of course, will lead it off for the Rams here on Rams Baseball, presented by Banterra Bank. You can lead off the season with a Banterra Bank free checking account. Banterra Bank, banking with local style and member FDIC. Speaking of seasons, help support the Mount Vernon Rams baseball season. Workshop lunch fundraiser tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church. Lunches are just $7. This includes a sandwich, chips, and a drink, and it's a very thick pork chop sandwich, as you know, the world-famous pork chop sandwiches. Those will be served up tomorrow. I understand they will deliver. You can get a hold of somebody in advance. It's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow from the First United Methodist Church. So if you happen to be taking the day off tomorrow to watch some college basketball, you might go on down and help support the Mount Vernon Rams baseball boosters. Or if you happen to be stuck at work, it falls right around your lunch hour, I presume, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So Jones will get started for the Rams. He'll face off against the right-hander, Nick Vogel. As we await your first pitch, probably going to come right around 4:22 or so, and some seconds to their passing. Here comes the first pitch of the ball game. That's going to be swung and a miss for strike one. Jones, the lefty, had a pretty solid day yesterday, both defensively and from the plate. Has an 0-1 count to start things off, so he falls behind early. As we wait the next pitch, out of the windup, here it comes from Vogel. Jones will offer and foul that off third base side, out of play, and it'll be 0-2 to start us off. Beautiful day, all things considered. We know some thunderstorms and rain swept through the region back at home earlier today, but no glimpse. At least you couldn't tell. Maybe some winds came through. I don't believe there's been much rain here to speak of all day as we radar watch. 0-2 gives way to 1-2 as that misses outside to the lefty Jones, who again is your leadoff batter here this year. Has batted in that spot 3 times already this year after batting second most of the year last year behind Blake Deaton, if I'm not mistaken. Right-hander Vogel, he'll offer this time. Let's see what he comes with on 1-2, and that's going to be inside. Sent to center field. Pinkerton will get underneath it. He'll make the grab, one away. So one out, nobody aboard here for the number 2 batter. Landon Thomas also wears number 2. Here with no score in the top of the first. We're glad to have you with us here on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Audio only, of course. No video for the spring sports, unfortunately. Another lefty here in the Ram lineup. Back-to-back lefties to get it started. Vogel will fire out of the windup. Here it comes, and that's going to miss low and away to Landon Thomas. Landon Thomas gets ahead in the count 1-0. Nothing surprising, as he has the susceptibility of doing that, of getting ahead at the start. Sometimes we'll out to even up, but more than often pulls through us. We'll have more statistics for you, of course, as we have some worth noting. Still early in the year, just the third game. The Rams, of course, 2-0 as the 1-0 misses high, make it 2-0. The LT played most of the year last year in right field, moves over to center this year. As Jones, who has patrolled the real estate out there in center field most of the year, moves into shortstop, as the Rams had to fill in some voids there at the middle infield. Swung and a miss on the 2-0 pitch, make it 2-1 to Landon Thomas. Glad to have you with us, of course, courtesy of Banterra Bank. They are the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams here on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. So we near the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, about 4:23. First pitch came just a couple of minutes ago, and the next pitch, 2-2 as that catches the outside corner. The count's even. Pinkerton, the center fielder, shading ever so closely towards right field. I'm playing straight away. Of course, shares the name with one of my least favorite Weezer albums, Pinkerton. And here comes the 2-2 pitch to Thomas. Swung on, fouled, right side, make that left side. Count stays even 2-2. Pinkerton wasn't a horrible album, but just a mnemonic device to help you remember the center fielder's name if you should have to be a fan of alt rock. Thomas will stand back in with an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Vogel out of the windup. It's on the way, and that is going to be popped up in a shallow right center field. Giving chase will be Ricci, and he will make the grab 2 away. Who will be your Community First Bank of the Heartland player of the game? Find out, of course, in the Beat Insurance postgame show. In the meantime, if you're tired of big corporate banking, you have a choice in Jefferson County. Community First Bank is at home. Dix, Ino, Woodlawn, and Mount Vernon, welcome back to Personal Banking. You ever FDIC. Colin Young had a big day yesterday. He will stand in as a designated hitter. In case you're just joining us, Colin Young will often share time with Grant Garrett behind the plate when one's catching, the other's DH by vice versa, as the first pitch to Young just misses high for ball 1. First game of the year, we'll remind you, of course, for Civic Memorial, had to laugh with Coach as we showed up and had a little bit of a roster mix-up at first, but very, very helpful have been the staff here in the athletics department at Civic Memorial High School. Next one's coming. Looks like it's in there for strike 1. Oh. Huh. Let's see. I missed a hand motion. We're going to assume that was strike because it looked good. Vogel here, having allowed none thus far, top of the first, 2 outs, bases empty. Next pitch on the way to Colin Young, and that's going to be a strike. So believe it or not, it is 2-1 to Colin Young. Probably should be 1-2 in all fairness. With the bases empty, 2 outs, top of the first, Drew's joining us. No score here from Bethalto. So Vogel comes up with here on the 2-1. On the way, and that's right down the flank, and that's going to be sent to the third base side. Camp will pick it up, fire across the diamond inside to fair. And that's going to do us through the top half of the first. No score. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we need help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
We've got a very up-to-date and very sophisticated body shop that has a paint booth that they actually bake the paint on. For the customer, that means very little, if any, buffing that goes on their vehicle after it's painted. We work on imports, all domestics, any vehicle. They can fix it up to where really you can't tell that anything was ever done to it just because it's baked on and there's very little buffing.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Back to Rams Baseball, powered by Banterra Bank.
Back indeed as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. We need to meet your Civic Memorial Eagles batting order, of course, presented by Central Christian Church. Brad Moore, the left fielder, will lead it off. Jaron Linton bats second and plays second base. Shane Pencil, the shortstop, will bat third. Corey Howard, the catcher, bats fourth. Brian Reacher, the right fielder, he will bat in the 5-hole. Nick Vogel, the pitcher, bats sixth. Casey Fair, the first baseman, will bat seventh. Jansen Helmkamp, the third baseman, bats eighth. And rounding it out, batting ninth, your center fielder, Kirk Pinkerton. That starting lineup, of course, batting order part of me, still in basketball mode, trying to shake out of that. Discover the excitement at Central Christian Church. They offer exciting worship experiences packed with energy and relevant teaching, as well as awesome programming for children and youth. Log on to thenewcentral.com for service times and more information. Also see what the lesson is at Central Christian Church. They have a lot of lessons, mini-series, so-called. You can always find out more information on that at thenewcentral.com. Of course, Central Christian Church, loving God and loving people. To be a right-hander more to lead us off, the left fielder. Working against Tyler Ellis. Ellis didn't see a lot of action last year, of course, on the hill. The occasional start, of course, behind the 1 and 2 combination of Wes Mason and Jared Anthony. This time he gets to start out of the third game. Here it comes. First pitch to the strike in play. Picked up by Harrison. He'll fire over to first in time, so 1 pitch, 1 out. You have to like that if you're Coach Holloway. Not wasting many pitches early, and, of course, more aggressive there, swinging on the first pitch and grounds out the third. It'll bring up Jaron Linton. Your defense for the Rams will be Pat Bradford out in left, Landon Thomas to start in center. Nathan Holt is back out there at right field. Of course, Sawyer Harris is starting in place of Colton Metter, who is injured thus far. He's at third. Jones is at short. Williams at second. And, of course, Saunders at first. The battery combo will come after this. First pitch to the left-hander, Lent, is a strike called on the outside corner. So interestingly enough, Ellis prefers to pitch out of the stretch, of course, regardless of whether or not there are runners on base, and here comes the next pitch. And that's going to be sent to the center field. Thomas is going to give a little bit of a chase to get underneath it. He'll make the grab with two hands. And so 3 pitches and 2 outs for the Rams. Your battery today, Grant Garrett behind the plate. He's catching Tyler Ellis. No score here as we are in the bottom half of the first inning. Civic with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Shane Pencil looks like a right-hander. He will step to the plate. Winning Edge can customize just about any activewear, like a T-shirt, hoodie, or golf shirt for the team, organization, or just for you. If you don't believe me, check it out. WinningEdgeUSA.com. Quality service and fast turnaround since 1977. Here comes the first pitch to the righty. Pencil takes it right down central for strike 1. So 0-1 the count here to the second consecutive batter. More than has the opportunity as he swung into the first pitch. 2 outs, nobody aboard, bottom of the first. No score here between the Rams and the Eagles. These two teams met last year on a Saturday. As the next pitch misses low, it's 1-1. It started April the 30th, a game that was actually came about on Friday, April the 29th, if I have my dates correctly. Civic came to Vernon Klein Field, of course, as we wait for the 1-1 pitch. Here it comes, so that'll miss inside. The count's 2-1. Civic bested the Rams that day. Of course, the Rams were able to get back to a sectional final for a second consecutive year, falling last year to conference foe, at least to Civic, Waterloo. And we wait the 2-1 from Ellis. Here it comes. That's put in play. Jones will get chases. It's the short, picks it up off of high, fires across. Just like that, we have reached the end of the first inning. No score through 1. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
If your definition of local is Southern Illinois and adjacent states, pay no attention to this message. Hi, I'm Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Others advertise the message of being a local community bank. However, Community First Bank is the only local community bank exclusively serving Jefferson County with 5 locations and 5 ATMs. In short, loans and deposits stay local and benefit you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stick a reminder on your phone. Jot it down on the calendar. Or tie a string on your finger. Don't miss the Saturday Sports Show every week after the 8 o'clock news on AM 940 and MyWithersRadio.com. Scores, guests, content, networking, knowledge, the occasional argument, yada, yada, yada. We do it all. You might say we're a little versatile. It's the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and MyWithersRadio.com, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Effingham, Terre Haute, and online at MyWithersRadio.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we just eclipsed the bottom of the hour here on WMIX, online at MyWithersRadio.com as we bring it back for Rams Baseball. We head to the top of the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Orange and Black as Grant Garrett, the catcher, will get us started off for another inning against Nick Vogel, who pitched flawlessly there in the first. No runs, no hits yet for either team. The Rams Civic Memorial here. We're on the road at Bethalto. Glad to have you with us. Danny Zerwinski not with us today. He's on assignment. He'll be with us next week as we have our first softball broadcast of the year with the Jefferson County Invitational Tournament. As the Lady Rams will get it started with DuQuoin at 4 o'clock. It'll be about a 3:50, 3:55 pregame here on AM 940 before we have Rams baseball on Tuesday against Triad. That'll be back at home at the friendly confines of Brennan Klein Field. Second inning action coming your way courtesy of Banterra Bank. Banterra's online banking is convenient, efficient, and best of all safe. Their security is your best defense. Banterra Bank, banking with style. First pitch from Vogel in route, and that's going to miss low into the right-hander Garrett. It's 1-0. That's 14 pitches now for Vogel. As we're in the top half of the second, Rams and Eagles scoreless. Here comes the next pitch, 1-0, but gets 1-1 as that just caught the lower edge of the zone. Great call by the home plate umpire. Didn't get the names of the 2 umpires today, but seemed to be doing a great job here to start. Of course, the infield umpire has had some action, but no bang-bang plays to speak of as of yet. 1-1 the count to Grant Garrett. Here comes the pitch on the way from the right-hander. Swung on a miss, offered that one. Chase ball 2 and now falls behind 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the top of the second. Don't forget, we're going to be plugging this all afternoon. Tomorrow is the Rams Pork Chop Lunch fundraiser for the baseball boosters. That's 11-1. At the First United Methodist Church, lunches are just $7 a piece. Sandwich, chips, and drink included in that fare. As Garrett will reach for another one, send it foul. Actually, miscalculated the pinch count. That was actually going to be number 21. And bottom line is, Saxon math not faring very well for me here today. 1-2 the count, of course, on Garrett. He'll put that one in play, and that'll be a frozen rope up the middle as Grant Garrett gets a leadoff single. We'll get you caught up, of course. On your junior varsity Rams, runner aboard on first base. We'll have a courtesy runner, Clayton Reeves. Not a lot of Rams here today. Baseball bangles tonight. Trevor Flota is shooting in the three-point showdown at the state, so good luck to Trevor. As he makes the trek to Peoria, actually should be shooting if he's not already in the process of one of the groups waiting to shoot up there at Carver Arena. So best of luck to Trevor Flota. Well, I'm sure his dad will hopefully send us an update. Hopefully get it during this broadcast so we can let you know how T-Flow did up there at Peoria, assuming that he made the trip. Of course, basketball banquet tonight, don't forget, as we told you. That has wiped away some of the possible Rams baseball players. Actually, why there's no JV game today is because of that Ram baseball banquet. And with Scott Gamber as your JV baseball coach, also your head coach of the basketball team, that's going to be a bit of a problem. As the right-hander, Zane Zonders stands in with nobody out and a runner aboard, facing Vogel out of the stretch and fouled right back. 0-1. Lakes considered a beautiful afternoon. Warm temperatures, muggy, unfortunately, but I think we're all ready for that, even though the winter was still pretty mild. And Zonders stands back in with an 0-1 count. The runner, Reeves, is going to stay behind, the courtesy runner. It'll be pushed foul over the first base dugout. Beautiful facility here at the Civic Memorial Baseball Complex in Bethalto. We are shy of the high school, probably if I use my directions. What, southwest, northwest? Northwest. I didn't use my directions that well. There is a JV game, I think, going on behind us. This doesn't feature the Mount Vernon Rams. Of course, we told you why. 0-2, the count for Zonders. Here comes the pitch on the way. Reeves will go. Taken on the outside corner. Must have been a ball, and Reeves will get to second base. It's kicked away. Looked like a good throw. Might have hopped in the dirt right as the shortstop tried to grab for it and pushed it into left field. But a runner in scoring position now for Zonders with a 1-2 count unofficially. As the Rams look to get on the board first here in the top half of the second inning. Roddy Vogel out of the stretch. We'll see if he comes with a runner in scoring position. He'll fire. And Zonders will reach for that, push it into right. Off the field base hit. Will bring Reeves home. He'll be held up at third. There'll be runners at the corners now. On the single by Zane Zonders. Nice piece of hitting work there for the Rams senior first baseman. And now we'll bring up Pat Bradford. Some concerns on the broadcast yesterday as Bradford had to kind of slide to get out of the way of his center fielder Thomas yesterday and to play in the outfield. Had left the game about that point, at least the next inning, so wondered if he had been hurt, but he appears well here as the right-hander will stand in with runners at the corners and nobody out in the top half of the second inning. So back-to-back singles, of course, have runners at the corners. Stolen base by Clayton Reeves. And we'll see what happens with Bradford. Vogel will probably go back to the windup. And maybe not. Looked that way at first, but now he's 6 foot on the rubber. He'll definitely be out of the stretch again. Runners at the corners. Bradford will stare back, and he'll foul this one off first base side. Scoots out of play. It'll be over the dugout. Nice effort, though, by Fair to climb the fence and give it a once-over. Of course, I told you I'd catch you up on the Rams JV season thus far, and we'll do that. Here in just a moment, it'll be courtesy of Tony Wilt. We'll count it as a scoreboard update, of course. You can find Tony on the corner of 42nd South Watertown, Mount Vernon, or find him online at TonyWilt.com. He's your local State Farm agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. We'll do that after this pitch to Mr. Bradford. 0-1 is going to catch the high corner. It's going to be 0-2. The Rams lost to Salem on the road, 4-3 to open up the year 0-1. They did beat Pickneyville yesterday at home back at the high school at the J.D. Shields Sports Complex. They beat Pickneyville 10-6 yesterday. Again, no game today for the JV Rams. Here comes the next one, and 0-2 is going to finish low for 1-2, but Zonders wherewithal to take second base and put 2 in scoring position for Pat Bradford. Bradford's back out on left field yesterday. Again, we told you the scare that at least we had with regard to him having to slide to get out of the way of a fly ball in left center field. It ultimately landed Thomas came away with when the Rams beat Pickneyville yesterday by a score of 11-1. Brock Fulkerson pitched nearly flawlessly there in 5 innings, got 7 Ks. And Bradford will look this one in on the inside corner for ball 2. Counts even 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pat Bradford. With Nathan Holt waiting on deck. 2 on, nobody out. Top half of the second inning. No score yet, but the Rams looking to change that here with 1 swing of the Bradford bat. Center fielder playing almost straight away. It's a foul tip off the mask of the catcher, Howard. So it'll stay 2-2. See what other kinds of information we can find to send your way, see if we can find some scores from around the region. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at 94Sports. And you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, as well as see some of the archives we put up for you on mywithersradio.com. The WMIX Sports page is up there as well. And here comes the next pitch on the way. Caught the outside corner, and that'll be a backwards K on Pat Bradford. It'll be the first out of the inning, so 2 on and 1 out now, as we'll see Nathan Hull emerge from the on-deck circle. It's a beautiful facility they have here. A lot of forestry surrounds the ballpark here. Nice backdrop to an already beautiful field. Have a scoreboard in right center field. And lights, that's the big thing. It's one thing that Mount Vernon would like to have back at Brennan Klein Field or some lights someday, and I'm sure that will be a reality sooner rather than later as the right-hander Holt stands in, stares down Vogel. Here comes the pitch. He shows bunt right back to the pitcher. This could be interesting. The runners are going to have to hold. They have a problem here. As the first throw will go back to first base. Now a run's going to score with the ball here. Reeves did not go as far off the bag as Zonders did, so it's going to be a 1-3 putout as Vogel ultimately decided to go to first base for the sure out. That's the second out, but I don't think what he saw was that he could have had something there at second and third, as Zonders was already 80% of the way to the third base bag. Reeves only ventured off about 20% of the way. The Reeves is able to come home to score. They do get the outs. There's 2 outs and a 1-0 Ram lead here as Zonders is safe back at second base. A throw from first to second ended up in left field somehow off of the deflection of the glove. So the Rams have a 1-0 lead. Still an RBI opportunity for Sawyer Harrison as he'll stand in. Here comes Vogel's pitch. Swung on a miss off speed stuff that time. Will pull Sawyer Harrison. He has a 0-1 count. Again, a 1-0 lead here for the Rams in the top half of the second inning. If you're going to need more than that, I guess a team like Civic. It's a younger team this year, only 4 seniors on the squad. Vogel's next offering, the 0-1, will get past Sawyer Harrison again. It's 0-2. Williams awaits on deck. That's the bottom of the order. So the Rams could have 9-1-2 coming up in the top half of the third. And he's not over yet, though. 0-2 with 1 on and 2 out for Mr. Harrison. Vogel looks in. Here it comes. That's going to catch the outside corner. Another backwards K. 2 strikeouts on the inning. The Rams will strand 1, but they'll plate 1. It's 1-0 Mount Vernon. This is Rams baseball on WMIX.
Hello, this is Hunt Bonin with People's National Bank. People's National Bank is a proud local family-owned bank. For over 100 years, we have been serving the people of Southern Illinois. We try our best every day to ensure that our customers get what is best for them and what they need. Stop by one of our 2 Mount Vernon locations today and see what banking with a true community bank is all about. People's National Bank, member FDIC.
Well, it happens every spring. You need a great quality vehicle, and that's where Second Chance Auto comes in. Family owned for the past 32 years, Second Chance Auto has been the cure for spring new car fever. No one has a better selection of vehicles priced under $10,000. Almost all their vehicles come with a generous 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty. There are no dock fees, no shipping fees, and no processing fees like those new car dealerships. Just low prices. Second Chance Auto. Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 242-4582. Second Chance Auto.
Let's go back to the field, powered by Banterra Bank.
And welcome back to Civic Memorial Baseball Complex. For the Eagles trailed the Mount Vernon Rams by a score of 1-0. The Rams did play 1 there back in the top half of the second. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Civic as they send up the catcher Corey Howard, Brian Ricci, and Nick Vogel to get us started. Tyler Ellis comes out for another inning of work. 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the first. First pitch looks like it just misses low for ball 1 to Howard. And we'll see what the fireballer comes up with next out of the stretch. This one looked like it caught the outside corner. A little low, but it still catches, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike here to the catcher, Howard. Of course, Ellis escaped the first inning without having to surrender too many pitches. Here comes the next one, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. Great pickup off the hop by Saunders. He'll take it himself unassisted. And that'll be your first out of the inning. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 pitches thus far for Tyler Ellis. We'll keep his pitch count. I've already kind of deviated from the pitch count of his counterpart, Vogel. So let's kind of see how this all works out. Another right-hander, Ricci, will stand in, and he will send one into left. Played off the hop by Bradford. He'll fire it back in. And that'll be held to a single. But the important thing is For Civic, that's their first base hit of the day, and Nick Vogel, the pitcher, comes in, wanting to get some retribution for what happened in inning ago. Again, it's 1-0 Rams here in the bottom half of the second inning with 1 on and 1 out. Chris Hugo here with you from Madison County. Of course, Denny Zerwinski wasn't able to make the trip this afternoon, leaving nobody to talk when I have the hiccups. And that'll happen. Here comes, and that's going to be fisted down the right field line. Holt makes a diving grab at it, but can't come up with it. He's able to stop it, however. He'll pick it up and fire it in. And it'll just be first and second. So while Nathan Holt wasn't able to make the out, he was able to at least knock it down and keep it somewhat relatively close. And it keeps it first and second with the 1 out. That'll bring up Casey Fair, the left-hander, possibly. Don't want to assume, but he's walking towards the left side of the box, and he's holding it in his left hand, ready to go. You can assume he's probably a left-handed batter. First and second with 1 out is Ellis out of the stretch, looking to get out of trouble here. In the home half of the second inning, the Rams on top 1-0. He trying to preserve his lead. Not Jones anymore, now the shortstop. That's Thomas out there. Straight away center field. First pitch is going to kick to the outside. Very liberal outside corner to left-handed batters today. As it is 0-1 to Casey Fair. Helmkamp is on deck with Pinkerton in the hole here for the Eagles in the home half of the second inning. See what Ellis comes away with here. As he looks back towards the runner on second, he will go ahead and deliver home, and that is going to be fouled, pushed off to the left field side, out of play. It'll be 0-2. If you can't get to the bank during the stretch, don't worry. You can now bank while you're in the stands with Banterra's cell phone banking. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, member FDIC. A very nice stands they have here in Bethalto. Nice facility. Ellis look at the runner on second. Check home for the signs. Here we go, and that's going to miss outside this time. Not going to get that one, and it's 1-2. A good waste pitch there by Tyler Ellis on 0-2. Makes it 1-2 with runners on first and second. Again, it's a 1-0 Ram lead here in the home half of inning number 2. See if the Rams come with. Ellis awfully concerned, as he should be, with the runner on second. He'll fire home, and that's going to miss high, 2-2. So it's ahead in the count, and now Fair works it back even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Don't forget the Baseball Booster Club Pork Chop fundraiser tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the First United Methodist Church. Lunches are just $7 a piece. A sandwich, chips, and a drink. They are ever so tasty. Grab you one of those tomorrow during your lunch hour, or take a break from NCAA tournament action. Here comes the pitch on the way, and that's going to catch the outside corner, beautifully located by Tyler Ellis. Great frame job by Grant Garrett. That's his first strikeout of the day. It's with the backwards variety, and now with 2 on and 2 out in the second. Up comes Jansen Helmkamp, third baseman. A bit of beef to him, Mr. Helmkamp. Playing third base, sophomore, getting valuable experience. So with a lot of youth to this Civic team, you kind of worry about the future for them in terms of competition. Everybody else may be looking up in a couple of years, depending upon the development. First pitch is on the way, and that just catches the low edge of the zone. It's 0-1. That is near the bottom of the order this year at the 8 hole, but certainly a kid that if he develops just by looking at his body, maybe get some more growth, might start heading up the top of the order. Probably right there in the middle is where he'd like to be. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the second. It's a 1-0 ball game. Rams on top. One that started about 4:22. The lights are on. Very overcast day here on a Thursday afternoon in Madison County. The next one misses on the outside. 1-1. We're near the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Of course, those of you waiting for your 5 o'clock news, let's flip over to the FM 94.1. 94 News at 5 with Reese Barnfield, of course, presented by People's National Bank, Ford Square, and the Mount Vernon Church of Christ will come your way on the FM. Next pitch on the way. Ground ball, nasty hop. Jones will pick it up. The right-hander fires across the diamond in time. So the Eagles will strand 2 here in the home half of the second. We head to the third. 1-0 Rams. This is Mount Vernon Baseball on WMIX.
My brother Paul was a real Renaissance man. A big city ER doctor, an outdoorsman, and always the smartest person in the room. When he was killed in a Deere vehicle collision, I thought it was a freak accident. But I was wrong.
Each year, Deere vehicle crashes cause death, damages, and injuries. And about 1 in every 100 drivers is likely to have a collision with a deer. For tips to avoid hitting a deer, visit EerieInsurance.com.
A message from the Bean Insurance Agency and Erie Insurance.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we need help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
For more content, like WMIX Sports on Facebook. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
That's right. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We head to the third in Madison County. The Rams with a 1-0 lead as they scored their first run in the top of the second. It will be 9-1-2 coming up. Matt Williams, Zach Jones, and Landon Thomas. Started to tell you to follow us on Twitter at 94 Sports, but unfortunately some dum-dum here in the booth has been tweeting on his personal account, so the work account. I will not tell you to follow me because I've already deleted those updates. Instead, I could have just retweeted them under the 94 Sports account, but alas, I did not think to be that smart. So we'll get you some updates on Twitter here in just a moment. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from the right-hander Vogel. Tails low and away to the right-hander Williams. So good eye by Matty, and it's 1-0. One thing about I've always taken for granted about DC is he handles the Twitter for us during games, and not here today, not doing that. The next pitch will miss low again. It's 2-0. Williams saw significant time as a freshman, and I believe a sophomore as well. First Scott Gamber and Denny Clark a couple of years ago, now makes the starting role on the varsity team here at Mount Vernon. Of course, we're on the road at Bethalto. 2-0 is on the way, and that catches the upper portion of the zone, make it 2-1. Don't bank on the away team, bank for the locals. Banterra, locally owned and operated. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, of course, member FDIC. The official voice of the Rams here on WMIX, including football, volleyball, basketball, softball, and baseball. Next pitch is on the way. Williams got a piece of it. This is the left field, giving chase to left field or more will make the grab, and just like that, one out in the inning. Not bad there. Great grab on the run, and that'll retire. Matt Williams brings up the top of the order, Zach Jones. Zach, of course, is over 1 today. He flew out to center his first time up. Lefty stands in against Vogel, takes one in the dirt. It's ball 1. So 1-0 here. We're in the top of the third. 1 out, nobody aboard. It's a 1-0 Ram lead. See if we got it coming up for you. See if I can find some good stories. If not, some Twitter drama, perhaps. In the world of national sports. We await the next pitch. 0-1's coming. Something like that. Now it's 1-1. That's all that matters. I wrote in my book wrong, using this Bob Carpenter book this year, and there's really no spot for the count because it's the Major League level. You don't necessarily have to worry about that sort of thing. We'll get you a random Bob Carpenter trivia factoid here in a moment as the next pitch misses outside to the lefty. Jones is back on top 2-1. For instance, did you know that in 1992 and 1993, Bob Carpenter was the New York Mets play-by-play man on WWOR-TV? That's your Bob Carpenter statistic of the day. Next one's coming. 2-1's going to be pushed foul. Make it 2-2. Book has enough random facts on Bob Carpenter that we will probably have one for you every time out this season. Key is going to be not repeating them, as Danny and I have not marked them in our respective books. You'll probably Bob Carpentered out before we get to the next homestand on Tuesday. 2-2's on its way to Jones. He'll let it fly by, high and away. Full count. That was now the 37th pitch for Vogel here today. Not sure if he's on any type of pitch count. Forgot to ask before we got started. Maybe, maybe not. The 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's going to be sent laser into left. Got more air than I thought. The left fielder Moore's got to come back for it, and that'll fall for a base hit. Into second goes Zach Jones. More conservative, old-school baseball people might call that an error, but I'm pretty liberal with my scorekeeping, and that'll be a lead, or one-out double, rather, for Zach Jones. Landon Thomas will step in. He's over 1 today. Flew out to right his first time up. And just as I use liberal and conservative in terms of baseball scorekeeping is not indicative of anything political. I know Rush Limbaugh appears on this station from 11 to 2, of course. But this is high school baseball. Rams on top, 1-0, top of the third. Runner on second, 1 out for Landon Thomas. LT will stand in against the righty Vogel out of the stretch. Looks back to second, fires home, pitch on the way, and misses low and away. So it's 1-0 to Thomas. dangerously dancing with the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Again, if you're tuned in for 94 News at 5, we'll be on the FM today, 94.1 FM. Next pitch is on the way. The 1-0 begets 2-0 as that misses outside to the lefty Thomas. 2 balls and no strikes. You're in the top half of the third. Still a 1-0 Ram lead. Looking to get a run here with runner in scoring position. So an RBI chance for LT with 1 out. See what Vogel comes with here. He's down 2-0 in the count to the hitter, Thomas. Looks back towards second. Nothing there. Thomas will show Bonnie will pull back. The runner was going. The throw is in the dirt. That'll get away. And Jones is going to try to come to score. Here comes the throw from the shortstop. In time, the ball was dropped at the plate. And so Jones comes around to score. Just a ball that popped out. That'll happen. So Jones comes around to score. And I believe Thomas pulls back. Should have been a strike because it was headed right down the middle. So we'll assume it's 2-1 at this point. With 1 out, and the Rams on top 2-0 as Jones came around to score. The ball got away on the throw down to third. Jones, the speedster that he is, and Tim Holloway, the aggressive one that he is, asserted that Mr. Jones go home, so he found home plate, slid in. Throw beat him there, but the catcher could not hang on, so it's 2-0 Rams with Thomas batting with the bases empty now and 1 out. Again, we'll assume a 2-1 count here as we never saw the mechanically side in it. He'll foul that off. See what it gives way to here. Kind of curious to see if there is a pitch count on Vogel first game out. So a lot of times you'll see that to start the season from coaches to make sure that their pitchers don't get worn down so early. And apparently not. Scoreboard updates today are presented by Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance. For all of your insurance financial service needs, visit your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt, on the corner of 42nd South Water Tower in Mount Vernon. Online at TonyWilt.com. Walk in, call in, click in like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Will the 2-2 pitch be there? No, it's inside. Full count now the Thomas, as we did confirm that it was 2-2 a moment ago. Again, the Rams won yesterday against Pinckneyville at home, 11-1 on the varsity side in 5. JV beat Pinckneyville 10-6. Thomas stands in with a full count. Vogel out of the stretch. He'll wind and fire. Here it comes. Right down the middle and fouled back. So that'll extend the out-bat. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Landon Thomas. Quite a few pitches in this inning has Vogel. We'll tally them up after the top half of the third completes. With the Rams on top 2-0. Of course, 1 out and nobody aboard for LT. Trying to extend the at-bat. Here comes full count. He'll send that foul third base side. Helmkamp will give chase. We'll see him come up with it. Nope, out of play. It stays a full count. 94 News at 5 on WMIX FM, of course, presented by People's National Bank, Ford Square, King City Chrysler, and the Mount Vernon Church of Christ. Normally be simulcast, as you well know, because you're tuned in here to AM 940, but you'll find it on 94.1 FM today. Reese Barnfield will have that for you in about 7 minutes. Here it comes, and Thomas will reach out for that and push it into left. Coming up with it on a nice grab. Oh, but dropping it is more. He has that in his glove, and I hate to be the man to do it, but Thomas will reach on an error. Nobody hates President in there more than I do. As Young, the designated hitter today, rotates between catcher and DH with Grant Garrett. Garrett, of course, getting the start behind the plate today, with Young having caught yesterday. Baseball and cross country seem to be the life of Colin Young, as he plays baseball most of the year. Does run cross country, at least did, for Clint Turner for a couple of years. As they did check on Thomas at first, he beat it back with a head first side. 2-0 to score. We're in the top half of the third inning. It is a 2-0 ball game with a runner on first as Young will foul that back. A little bit of traffic going by on the road nearby. It also provides part of the backdrop. There's also kind of a random house just sitting there. Back porch facing us here at the field. Again, the dimension 325 down the lines, 370 in left and right center, and I believe 380 or 390 straight away centers. The next pitch misses outside. It'll even the count at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Colin Young, the designated hitter, with a runner on first, 1 out. Top half of the third inning, in case you just joined us, it's a 2-0 Ram lead here on the road against Civic Memorial. They beat the Rams last year at home. Saturday, April the 30th, I believe it was. Here comes the next pitch on the way. That'll miss high. Possible pitch out, and it's 2-1. Rams have quite the busy week next week. I know they have Triad at home on Tuesday, game on Wednesday, and then a doubleheader on Saturday on the road at Mattoon. I believe the JV will come to Mount Vernon. They'll play at BK, and the varsity heads to Mattoon up there in Coles County. We'll have all the Rams baseball games for you here on WMIX. As Young will reach out for that one. Soon as the right center, Ricci gives chase, and they'll make the grab 2 away. And that'll bring up Grant Garrett. Garrett, of course, singled. His courtesy runner, Clayton Reeves, came around to score on a bunt. That was put into play, and a dangerous base running almost cost the Rams that inning, but a couple of loose balls getting away on a couple of throws allowed the Rams to keep the inning alive and allowed the courtesy runner, Clayton Reeves, to score. First pitch is on the way to Garrett. It's outside to the right-hander, 1-0. Who will be your Community First Bank of the Heartland player of the game? Your community, your choice, your bank. With 5 locations and friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs, Community First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. See what happens with the next one. Here it comes, and that catches the outside corner to the right-hander, Garrett. Counts even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner on first is Landon Thomas. He'll get a nice little lead there. Center fielder is playing slightly towards the left center, of course, to play the batter. And now the runner's going. Thomas is safe. Swung on a miss by Garrett. We'll pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Bloomington, Paducah, and online at mywithersradio.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
Grant Garrett stands in. The Rams have a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning with 2 outs and a runner on second base after the stolen base by Landon Thomas. The right-hander Vogel thrown quite a few pitches. And we'll have time granted to the batter Garrett. The count is 1-2. Might have said 2-1 earlier. If I did, I apologize. 94 News at 5 time on WMIX FM. In case you're just tuned in, it's brought to you by People's National Bank, Ford Square, and the Mount Vernon Church of Christ, coming your way on the FM. Pitch is on the way, and Garrett waits for that one to connect. Sends it down the left field side. It has a chance if it keeps going. That is just foul. Same thing happened to Grant yesterday. Just missed a home run as it was left to the foul pole at Vernon Klein Field. And with the new bats this year, you're not going to see a lot of pop. You're going to see who has power and who doesn't. And Grant Garrett apparently does have the power. Waited on it and just waited a little too long. That's a pop on the bat. Runner on second, 2 gone, top of the 3rd. It's a 2-0 Ram lead. Saunders awaits on deck with the runner leading off Thomas off the second base. Garrett will let this one bounce around in the dirt. It's 2-2. Coming into the inning, Vogel had 32 pitches. We'll tally that up and let you know in the 4th where he's at, assuming we have not eclipsed any possible pitch count. Of course, it'll be 9-1 and 2 coming up in the home half of the 3rd here, depending upon what happens here on the 2-2 to Grant Garrett. Vogel looks back, he'll fire home, and that'll miss low. The count's full. Interesting. Lights are on here in Madison County. Glad to have you with us on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at 94 Sports. You can like us on Facebook, WMIX Sports. As the pitch is on its way, full count. He'll reach out for that one. Garrett. And Pinkerton's going to get chased in left center field, and that one will go to the fence. So an RBI double, maybe more here for Grant. Not a true speedster. He'll stop there and presumably have a courtesy runner and Clayton Reeves come out on the RBI double by Grant Garrett. So good effort there by Grant. 2 for 2 today. In line for a natural cycle thus far. Singled back in the 2nd. Now doubles here in the 3rd. And Zane Saunders will stand in with a runner in scoring position. It's Clayton Reeves, the courtesy runner for Grant Garrett. And Coach will have a visit to the mound. This visit to the mound presented by Ford Square. There's nothing more attractive than confidence, and yours will be at an all-time high when you buy a new Lincoln at Ford Square. Not only do you get a great offer, you also get the standard 4-year, 50,000-mile maintenance plan, only at Ford Square, where the best never rests. Of course, glad to have you with us on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Chris Hugo here with you. Denny Zerwinski will be back with me on Monday for the Jefferson County Invitational. The Mount Vernon Lady Rams will have their first outing, or actually first home outing of the year, as we'll have a new pitcher. The new pitcher is Beckham. See if Vogel stays in anywhere. keep our eyes peeled and see if he went to the dugout or what's going to happen. It'll be a left-hander this time, so we'll see what Beckham comes out with. Beckham is a 5'6" sophomore. Again, this is a very young Eagles team here today as they make their debut at home in Madison County. The Rams, of course, come in with an overall 2-0 mark. Looking around for Vogel. I don't believe that he stayed in the game. We'll see what we get here as we get some warm-up pitches for Brett Beckham. 3-0 as the Ram lead. Saunders will come up with a runner on second. It's Clayton Reeves, of course, is the courtesy runner for Grant Garrett. If you're hungry like I am, of course, you can get a pork chop lunch tomorrow. It's a fundraiser for the Mount Vernon Rams baseball boosters. That's tomorrow the 16th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church. Lunches are $7. Can't beat that. Sandwich, chips, and the drinks will cost you that much at a fast food restaurant, if not more. So stop on by, make it fast. On your lunch break tomorrow, support the Mount Vernon Rams baseball boosters at the First United Methodist Church. Your lunch hour, if it falls between 11 a.m. and probably about 12:55, so take you some time to get there. You're in luck. I understand if you know somebody or if you can get a hold of the right people, they will deliver. I don't know if you had to arrange that ahead of time or not. It's on here on the sheet. As we're awaiting the warm-up pitches to wrap up from Brett Beckham, a lefty. I did not see Vogel anywhere out there on the field. They do have numbers on the fronts of the unis, and I do not see him anywhere. So we'll assume for now that he has been completely taken out of the game. Vogel, of course, can play third or short. Looks like he came out completely. Bradford stands on deck as we await Zane Saunders. He'll be the first man to face the left-handed pitcher. Rams faced lefty C.J. Opp yesterday. The Pinckneyville Panthers, a great hurler there for Pinckneyville. Just had a rough outing to start the year. Jennings, of course, is the other left-hander of the Rams to face. That was in Salem. He was in relief at Tolliver. The Rams very well versed in left-handed pitching thus far, and the first one almost gets away. Great stop by Howard behind the plate. It's 1-0 to Zane Saunders. Saunders, of course, a right-handed batter facing the lefty. Throws off the extreme right edge of the rubber. At least that's where his back foot rests. We'll see how this plays out. Out of the stretch comes the pitch, right down the middle, but fouled back. 1-1 to Saunders. Saunders is 1-1 today. 1-4-1 rather. Singled back in the second inning, was stranded after a couple of strikeouts, and Vogel caught his composure there in the inning. See how pitch number 3 goes here for Beckham. Runner feigns that he's going. That's going to be just inside the bag, third base side. That's a fair ball. Coming around to score will be Clayton Reeves for Grant Garrett. And Saunders is on his horse headed for second. Will be an RBI double for Zane. And the Rams take a 4-0 lead here on the road at Civic. Great piece of hitting work by Zane Saunders. He has really turned it on this year. Hit well last year, just struggled at times, as did a lot of the Rams. Spoiled by many of the Rams last year, including Blake Deaton, who set a career mark or a season mark or what have you. Pierce Boras set some marks. Not that far removed from the Sipe and Mulvaney and Beckham era. Now the first pitch into the right-hander, Bradford misses inside and low for ball 1. It was an auspicious start here for Civic. Brett Beckham, of course, a sophomore. 5'6", $155 according to the roster. Where's number 1? Lefty looks back at the run on second, now fires home, and that's going to miss inside, and Bradford is ahead 2-0. Second Chance Auto, you knew them as your halftime show sponsor for most of the year. Of course, no halftimes in baseball. We'll tell you they can get bank rate financing at Second Chance Auto. They have the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles priced at $10,000 in one location. Second Chance Auto, proud supporters of the Rams. 142 East, the route in Mount Vernon. It's a ground ball to short. Picking it up is Will fire across the diamond. Safe. They're going to say, umpire's going to say that Fair pulled off of the bag, and so safe at first is Beckham. Fair did pull his foot off the bag. The question, I thought it was before Beckham got there, but I thought that he had stepped on it long enough before. Not enough to satisfy the umpire. I was ready to take you to the bottom half of the third inning, but that'll now put runners at the corners. If anybody's upset, they have every right to be. 4-0 is the Ram lead, with runners at the corners and 2 outs. So that'll bring up Nathan Holt. We'll see what happens. Play will resume with Nathan Holt. He'll stand in against the lefty back. And runners at the corners, 2 outs. Probably should be headed to the dugouts, or at least come out of the dugouts for the next inning. But the umpire keeps it going. And here it comes to Holt. He'll take a first pitch strike on the inside corner. And it's 0-1. Beckham located that one pretty well, just wrapping it inside, just caught enough at the plate for a strike. And with runners at the corners, the Rams are going to try to extend the inning. Though 2 outs here, a 4-0 lead. Beckham looks in. City comes with out of the stretch. There it is, and that'll be swung on a miss. Off-speed stuff that time. I have 0-2. That's correct. 2 outs here in the top half of the third inning. 4-0, the Ram lead. Grant Garrett making a case to be your player of the game. There's no doubt about that, as he's 2 for 2. With an RBI, and his courtesy runner has a couple of runs scored. Double steal coming, trying to force the run down. And Zonders will be out at third as the tag is in time. So aggressive base running doesn't work out that time. Possible miss hit and run. And that'll be it for the Rams here in the third. They scored 3. It's 4-0 Mount Vernon through 2.5. This is Rams baseball on WMIX.
If your definition of local is Southern Illinois and adjacent states, pay no attention to this message. Hi, I'm Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Others advertise the message of being a local community bank. However, Community First Bank is the only local community bank exclusively serving Jefferson County with 5 locations and 5 ATMs. In short, loans and deposits stay local and benefit you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois proudly welcomes Dr. Brian Steinke to their medical staff. Dr. Steinke is an orthopedic surgeon specializing in spine surgery, treatment of the injured back, and will provide the newest state-of-the-art procedures in the region. Dr. Steinke is fellowship trained in spine and brings prestigious credentials to the center. Dr. Steinke is a gifted physician and contributor to orthopedic textbooks and will see patients starting in April. Call 618-242-3778 or visit their informative website at orthocenter-si.com.
This is Mike Race. You're listening to the Rams on WMIX.
And we welcome you back to Civic Memorial, where the Mount Vernon Rams have a 4-0 lead over Bethalto. Pinkerton, Moore, and Lynton will get us started here in the home half of the third inning. As my color guy is trying to critique, and no, not the case. The ball had already been released when the runners went. I do know the difference, thankfully. Pitch got away from the catcher, but won't matter. Ball 1, of course, to Pinkerton as we get started. So 1-0 count here in the bottom of the third. Here we go, and that is going to be in the dirt again. Ellis comes back out for a third inning worth of work. 20 pitches thus far. That's allowed a couple of base runners, but other than that, pretty flawless effort here for Tyler Ellis. 2-0 is the count, though, to lead things off for Kirk Pinkerton. Swung on a miss on this one, and it'll be 2-1. Rams baseball, of course, presented by Banterra Bank, the official voice of the Rams. If you can't do the put it this way, don't bank on the away team, bank for the locals. So Banterra, locally owned and operated. Banterra Bank, bank you with local style. Next pitch, swung on a miss. I'll speed that siren. It's 2-2 to Pinkerton. And the next one's going to be in the dirt, foul count. Full count offering this time from Ellis. Take a bad hop over the glove of the first baseman Zonders into right field, and that'll be a single. The leadoff variety for Kirk Pinkerton. Although to expand, the philosophy was brought up at the forced ball play. Probably what it was intended to be. Rams did take off after the pitch was thrown, or after the delivery of said pitch. So while he is right, and I'm sure it was intended to be a forced ball, it did not end up that way. First pitch to the lefty, Beckham. 0-1. Trying to catch up here. 0-1 is put in play to the second base. Williams, no play at second. He'll fire first in time, and that'll be a 4-3 fielder's choice. As Peckham will ground out and advance the runner. Jaron Linton will make a step up here in the bottom of the third inning. He flew out center fielder back in the first with the second out of the inning, and now the lefty will stand back in with one out and a runner in scoring position. 4-0 is your score. Rams on top here in the bottom half of the third. Ellis on the hill out of the stretch. We'll see what the right-hander deals this time, and that's going to be high and away. 1-0. Vogel threw 55 pitches in 2 2/3. 9 pitches, of course, by Beckham in relief. There in the third, which the Rancher able to play 3 to make it 4-0. Pops foul. Third base side. Does Sawyer Harrison have it? He does in foul territory, so that will be the first out of the inning. You can follow us on Twitter at 94 Sports. Of course, you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. As we'll see the right-hander, Shane Fissel, the shortstop stand. He grounded out to his counterpart back at the first to end the inning. Now with one out and a runner on second, that's a chance to be somewhat of a hero here. Try to get Civic on the scoreboard as they trail 4-0. He checks his swing. Like it might have just missed inside. No indication usually does mean a ball, so we'll assume 1-0 here on Fissel. With a runner on second. Both the right fielder playing somewhat shallow, and here comes the pitch all the way. Sent right back to Williams. And that'll be the third out of the inning. So I missed one somewhere. My apologies. We will head to the top half of the fourth. Rams on top 4-0. This is Now for the Baseball on WMIX.
More Americans are on a move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we need help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back to Rams baseball, powered by Banterra Bank.
And welcome back to Bethalto, Civic Memorial, Mount Vernon Rams. 4-0 is the Ram lead as we head to the top half of the fourth inning. Bottom of the order coming up. It'll be this Clayton Reeves will pinch hit for Nathan Holt. So Clayton will probably go out to right field, and that'll probably be the only lineup change, as I do see Tom Fulkerson. It'll be a change for the Rams as Clayton Reeves will stand in to get us started. Holt, of course, was 0 for 1 today. He was at bat when. That's what makes me think it was possibly a double steal hit and run that the Rams have been known to do, because Holt is no longer out there, and that's usually what happens. But that is how the inning came to a close a moment ago. 4-0 is the Ram lead, and I filled out my book incorrectly for part of the third. That is why I was off. So Ellis did surrender a hit to get started, and then 3 consecutive outs to get out of any possible trouble. As there is a report of golf ball-sized hail somewhere near St. Louis. So that'll be interesting. Haven't looked at the radar yet to check that out. I'm not trying to scare anybody over here, of course. As Reeves will get a starter. Pitches on the way. Swung and a miss. Clayton Reeves to get us started. The 0-1, but gets 1-1. The count's even up. That missed high from the lefty pitcher. Brett Beckham. Of course, you think of Beckham and a pitcher, you think of Steve Beckham, of course, from Rams baseball. He's all of that Naz Green, performing very well up there. As a sophomore now, next pitch, tomahawk swing and miss by Reeves. He falls behind in the count, 1-2. Let's see what happens here on the 1-2 pitch. Rams baseball, of course, presented by Banterra Bank. They'll support the other team. Go green with Banterra's online bill pay and online statements. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, member FDIC. Next pitch in the to Clayton. Evens the count up 2-2. Tony Wilt would bring any scoreboard updates we'd have today. We assume probably some cancellations back home as it did rain significantly to start today around the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hours. 2-2's on the way, and Reeves will swing at the off speed and strike out. So that'll be the first out of the inning. Clayton Reeves goes down swinging the way he'd want to go down if he had to strike out. And now to bring up Sawyer Harrison. Harrison, of course, struck out in his first at bat looking. See what he gets from the lefty. A righty-lefty matchup here. Harrison the righty, the pitcher the lefty. Beckham will offer. Here it comes. Big gap up the middle, of course. I am entranced on the possible JV game behind us. Of course, no Ram JV game. Baseball banquet today. And when your head basketball coach or JV baseball coach, that's bound to happen. Turning around his side is Harrison, and it's 2-0 to Sawyer. I need to turn my phone volume down. My apologies. 2-0's on the way, and that'll catch 2 balls, 1 strike. Glad to have you with us, WMIX, and online at mywithersradio.com. Chris Hugo here with you. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment today. He'll be back with me Monday for the Jefferson County Invitational softball debut on the year on WMIX. Lady Rams will start their season Saturday, weather permitting, at the Fairfield Tournament. 2-1's coming. Harrison will send that. Will it get up the middle? No, it won't. He'll pick it up, fire to first in time. 2 away. That'll happen. So just like that, 2 outs on the inning. Matt Williams will stand in. He flew out to his left last time up. Williams, a right-hander, of course, with 2 outs, the base is empty. Rams lead it 4-0 here in the 4th inning. Like to get some insurance. And the next pitch, this is high. Speaking of insurance, Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance, bring you our scoreboard updates here, TonyWilt.com, and on the corner of 42nd South Watertown, Mount Vernon, Tony Wilt, State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Next pitch catches the inside corner to Matt Williams. Got across the saddest portion of the plate and just got in there for a strike. 4-0 is your score. Rams on top. Beckham will offer. Williams shows spot, pushes it down to first base side. Can he race past the first baseman? He will. Nobody to cover. And that is going to be an infield bunt single by Matt Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Williams is a pretty good bunter. We have noticed that in early action. Thought I might have seen a lightning bolt in the sky, but I'm not going to jump the gun, because I've been known to be plenty wrong. So now a lefty has returned to the top of the order with Zach Jones. He's 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Runner on first, 2 gone, top of the 4th. A 4-0 Ram lead as they're going to try to get some more runs here against the sophomore Beckham. Pitch on the way. It'll scoot outside in the dirt. It'll be 1-0 to Zach. Tyler Ellis, of course, your pitcher from Mount Vernon. Athens picked up the win yesterday, or Tuesday. Fulkerson got the win yesterday over Pinckneyville. Flawless performance, nearly anyway. 1-0 the count to Jones, the lefty, battling the lefty. Sends that into left field, and that will fall for base. It gets past left fielder. Moore has some trouble with it. Vogel has some trouble with it. We could have a run score. Being waved around is Matt Williams, ending up at third. Is Zach Jones. So Jones will pick up a single and then reach third on the air. Landon Thomas will stand in, and you'll hear now some thunder rumbling in the background, and that'll make things interesting. So LT stands in 1 for 2 today. He actually reached on an error by my calculations back from third, so 0 for 1. Did score a run, however. Of course, the Rams on top here. No scoreboard in effect today. 5-0 your score. Pitch to Thomas will miss outside 1-0. See what happens on this next connection. Lefty-lefty matchup. Thomas stands back in, fouls it off. So Matt Williams came around to score for the inning's first run, makes it 5-0. Zach Jones stands on third base with Landon Thomas for battler. Battling the left-hand pitcher, Brett Beckham, who came on in relief an inning ago. We'll see what happens. Next pitch is on the way. He'll let that bounce around in the dirt. The runner's got to stay at third. I have a 2-1 count. I could be off. So we'll assume that. Got to have the attention span sometimes, keep a good book, and that is not me. 2-1's the count here on Thomas. Runner on third, 2 gone, top of the fourth inning. 5-0 the Ram lead, and that bounces around the dirt again. And it's 3 balls and a strike to Landon Thomas. Rams baseball course presented by Banterra Bank. Thank you with local style. Beckham, the pitcher, comes out the stretch of lefty, and Thomas got a piece of it. Beautiful golf shot in the right. And Ricci will make the grab. So that'll do us through 3.5. The Rams lead 5-0 over Civic. This is Rams baseball on WMIX.
Hi, Roy Schmidt at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. The 2012 Ford Fiesta. This automobile delivers smiles like no other car in its class. With unsurpassed highway fuel economy and bright colors like lime squeeze and yellow blaze, it's easy to see why. Of course, the 2012 Fiesta also helps you make and take calls without touching your phone, and switch songs while your MP3 player is tucked away. Plus, receive turn-by-turn navigation instructions on a 4-inch LCD display, and enjoy the peace of mind from 7 standard airbags, including one that protects the driver's knees. Are you starting to grin? Available in hatchback or sedan, Fiesta is such a joy to drive and be with that many owners actually name theirs. To feel it yourself, come into Ford Square today and let's talk at 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois.
You can count on us. Yes, you can.
For more insight, follow us on Twitter at 94 Sports. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
And welcome back to Civic Memorial in Bethalto. We're actually not at the high school, we're at the beautiful baseball complex they have here in town. Mount Vernon Rams with a 5-0 lead over Civic Memorial. This is their first game of the season. Pretty young ball club, handful of seniors. Of those seniors, looks like all but one are in the lineup, so they have 3 seniors actually getting the start today. Corey Howard, the catcher, is just a sophomore, so I was going to say one of them getting ready to lead us off, but not the case. So he's a sophomore stuck in a senior's body. And he'll stand in and lead us off against Tyler Ellis, who thus far has a shutout. 5 runs. Run support count is 5. There we go. Easy way to say that. It's 5-0. First pitch, of course, to Howard, misses low for ball 1. Ellis looks in, ponders, now fires another one. Has to be a ground ball. Could see its way through. No, nice dive there by Sawyer Harrison. Gets up and makes the throw. Didn't think he had a chance in Hades. And Sawyer Harrison made that look easy. So with Colton Metter, the starting third baseman out, of course, Colton started as the hot corner all last year. Sawyer Harrison steps up in a big way. Got the front dirty, then got back up and threw it over right in the nick of time for the first out of the inning. So heck of an effort by Sawyer Harrison to make the play. Too bad we're not video streaming baseball, because that would have been a nice video highlight. We wait the first pitch to the new batter, and that is Brian Ricci. Looked good from where I stood, but I looked down right as he was getting ready to make or not make his signal. That'll happen. Right-handed batter working against the right-handed pitcher. We'll see what the next pitcher gets. And that was just missed low, so it was a strike a moment ago, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to the right fielder, Ricci. Singled his last time up back in the second, was stranded on second base. when the inning came to a close. It's 5-0 Rams here in the home half of the fourth. It's back to Sawyer, picks it up. Off the hop, he'll find it first in time, and he's making it look easy. A Sawyer Harrison show here. Defensively, here in the fourth. His third put out of the day, as he actually had the inning's first down back in the first. Just wanted to research that, make sure we were accurate there, and we were. And that'll bring up Vogel, starting out the game as a pitcher, now has subsequently moved out to left field in place of Brad Moore. So Vogel stands in 1 for 1 today, looking for another op, and he will send this off the foot of Ellis. Thought Harrison might have a chance at that, but Sawyer couldn't get there in time. He took a bad hop, and that'll be a base hit off of the foot. So 2 for 2 is the original opposing pitcher, Nick Vogel. And that'll put a runner aboard here in the fifth. They're going to check on Tyler just to make sure he's okay. Looks all right. Moving around okay. We assume that he'll continue. Who will be your Community First Bank of the Heartland player of the game? That remains to be seen, and that'll be in the Mead Insurance Post-Game Show. Familiar faces, new places. Bank with Ray and Bria, Community First Bank's new 42nd Street location in Mount Vernon. And welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. Chris Hugo here with you. Danny Zawinski on assignment today. Looking very forward to him being back on Monday. That'll be our next Ram or Lady Ram broadcast. The Lady Rams participate in the Jefferson County Invitational. We can't tell you it's the bottom of the hour. We'll go ahead and pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Bloomington, Paducah, and online at mywithersradio.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
Free service from Withers Broadcasting, indeed. Glad to have you with us, Chris Hugo. No Danny Zawinski today, but Avery Barton somewhat keeping me company back at the powerhouse in Mount Vernon, pushing all the buttons today. You'll have your 94 News at 5 back tomorrow afternoon. Again, that'll be brought to you tomorrow, of course, by People's National Bank, Ford Square, and the Mount Vernon Church of Christ again. So we'll have Casey Fair, the first baseman, as Ellis is okay. Got a few pitches, in case you were wondering. Didn't want to update you on his status until we knew. Status seems to be A-okay. It's the left-hander Fair will step in with runner on first, 2 gone in the fourth. He'll foul it right off, and it'll be 0-1. Of course, let us remind you of the Booster Club lunch tomorrow. Sounds good. It's a pork chop lunch fundraiser. More on that if we get the 0-1 pitch to Fair from Ellis. Here comes Ellis's pitch. Could be a comebacker. Ellis will reach out for it, not come up with it. He had time to fire to first. He will. Safe. Made a valiant effort for it, but just not in time. Probably should have just put it in his pocket, but that'll be runners on first and second on the infield hit by Fair. Fair just put it where they weren't. Even though it didn't escape the infield, never even got to the dirt. He'll put runners on first and second. Back-to-back base hits for Jansen Helmkamp to stand in. A right-hander has a chance to get some runs across the plate, at least one, with the runner in scoring position. So let's see what happens here with the right-hander Ellis looking in out of the stretch. They're going to have to throw the runner at second. Now the pitch fired home, and that looked like it just caught or just missed. It'll be 1-0 to Jansen Helmkamp. Second Chance Auto, of course, a proud sponsor of Rams Baseball here on WMIX. Pay great financing and the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles priced for $10,000. What's not to love about Second Chance Auto? Get the car you want at Second Chance, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Next pitch on the way from Ellis, and that is going to just hit low. Count evens up at 1-1 strike. The ninth place batter, Kirk Pinkerton, is on deck. Which reminded you when we first started the broadcast, Pinkerton is a Weezer album, was their second major album, back around 96 or 97, so most of these kids obviously not old enough to remember the album, might remember the band. Here comes 1-1. Popped up, right side of the infield. That'll scoot to the outfield. My apologies. And coming away with the grab is Clayton Reeves. So we are through 4 innings. It's 5-0 Rams. This is Mount Vernon Baseball on WMIX.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we need help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Stick a reminder on your phone. Jot it down on the calendar. Or tie a string on your finger. Don't miss the Saturday Sports Show every week after the 8 o'clock news on AM 940 and MyWithersRadio.com. Scores, guests, content, networking, knowledge, the occasional argument, yada, yada, yada. We do it all. You might say we're a little versatile. It's the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and MyWithersRadio.com, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. Let's go back to the field, powered by Banterra Bank.
And we welcome you back to Madison County, where the Mount Vernon Rams a 5-0 lead as we head top 5. It should be Colin Young, Grant Garrett, and Zane Zonders to get us started. Young looking for his first base hit of the day. Garrett is 2 of 2, as is Zane Zonders. So these combined are 4 of 6 today. Right about where you want your 3, 4, and 5 to be. A couple of runs batted in, also in there, and a couple of runs scored. Curious question will be, who will Grant Garrett's courtesy runner be? Now that Clayton Reeves is out in right field, it seems to be the personal courtesy runner for the catcher, Clayton Reeves, thus far this season. Now he's in place, so we'll see what happens. Lefty Beckham out for another inning of work, and his first pitch will miss high to Young. It's 1-0. Winnie Nash wants to provide a public service. Looking good while you cheer on your team. Don't settle for one-design-fits-all activewear. As Wayne Edge can personalize almost anything and make you look good at the game. Check out their creations at WayneEdgeUSA.com. And that was a creative strike. Great job there by Beckham to paint the black of the plate on the inside corner. The right-hander Young, and that evens up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next one's in. Route check swing by Young. They're going to give that corner again. It's up 1-2. Not much you can do there if you're Colin. Obviously, you're at a major disadvantage. It's up in on your fist. Just underneath, rather. It's going to be tough to turn around against something like that, especially his position near the plate. We'll see what happens. We'll have time. If Young wants time, he'll get it. 1-2 as he's falling behind the count. We'll see how he can overcome this 1-2 against the sophomore lefty. Not quite a difference between Vogel and Beckham, obviously. Sides of the rubber. As that one misses low and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First time Collins hit 2-2 today. He was up 2-1 a couple of times when he pulled one to the third base side and grounded out back to the first, and then sent one the opposite way to right field. That was back in the third, and that inside corner strikes again. Delivery just cut across the plate, apparently, and Young goes down backwards K. Probably nobody more frustrated than that young man, but there was not much he was going to be able to do there with that strike zone opening up inside as it did. And now Grant Garrett will have to face Mr. Beckham. Garrett's actually the guy that caused Vogel to be pulled, so this will be his first opportunity against Brett Beckham, the 5'6" sophomore. First pitch from the lefty is on the way to Garrett. He will just get a piece of that. Sent it to the opposite field. He got in front of it, front-footed it, and now that'll be off the glove of the right fielder. So E9 allows Garrett to get aboard here with 1 out. He had it in and just looked up before he had it all the way in his mitt. The old classic, I already have this one, and I'm going to reel it in, but I didn't have it. That'll bring up Zane Zonders, 2 for 2 today with an RBI. Rams looking for some more offense here in the top half of the 5th inning. They're up 5-0. They'll like to get some more runs across the plate. Here comes the first to Zonders, and he'll pop that up, first base side. Fair call, sport, fair territory, no less. And he'll make the grab, 2 away. That'll bring up Patrick Bradford. Goes by Pat. Rome Hornet graduate, obviously. A couple older brothers that played football. Pat played football as well. Pat also very successful on the diamond. We'll see how he does here. Bats from the right side of the plate has Garrett leading off at first base with 2 outs at the top of the 5th. It's a 5-0 Ram lead. Beckham will fire. That's inside. Catches that corner. You have to watch out and defend because that's going to be a strike almost more often than not as Beckham continues to hit that part of the plate. Some more folks we probably need to tell you about. How about one we've told you about plenty of times, and we'll keep telling you about them especially after this 0-1 pitch to Beckham, or Adam. How about Bradford? How about we not combine 4-man toes and not be fouled back? It'll be 0-2. Hit a grand slam. Go for the account with no hidden fee. Banterra offers a totally free checking account. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, member FDIC. So the official voice for Mount Vernon Rams Athletics here on WMIX. Banterra Bank along for the ride. 5-0 your Ram lead. Top 5. Runner on. Grant Garrett off of first base with a little bit of a lead. Bradford going to try to make something happen. Takes it inside in the dirt. Garrett's going. And he is going to be safe. Just slid around the tag. Went to the outside of the bag as the throw was inside. So Garrett able to swipe second base. He's his own runner right now. Reeves was his courtesy runner. You're not going to run your two pitchers, obviously, for him. Fulkerson and Anthus. You have Flota, who's at state, shooting three-pointers. So not a lot of options off of the bench for the Rams as far as courtesy runners. Beckham will fire. The lefty will get inside. Just missed. Garrett's going to go ahead and go. No throw. And Grant Garrett will slide third on the fastball, wild pitch, whatever you want to call it. I didn't see it well enough to make a distinction one way or the other, but looked like the pitch was a little wobbly coming in, but the catcher should have stopped it. Bradford right now, working the count with a runner on third, 2 gone, top 5. 5-0 your score. Beckham trying to get out of the inning unscathed here in the 5th. Pitch is on the way, and that will be sent into the outfield. Just over the head of the third baseman. Garrett will come around to score. So it's 6-0 Rams on the RBI single by Pat Bradford. And that'll bring up Clayton Reeves. Reeves had a pretty good day yesterday, if I recall correctly. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI in yesterday's game against the Panthers at Finleyville. The Rams won that one 11-1. 2-0 on the year. They beat Salem 3-2. That went the distance on Tuesday to open up the year. We'll check on the runner first. Gets back. Plenty of time. Clayton Reeves getting ready to stand in. Would like to face that first pitch. He 0 for 2 today. He's 0 for 1, if I'm not mistaken, against this particular pitcher. Bradford will get a slight lead off of first base here in the 5th inning. Reeves will take the first pitch, take it high, and it's 1-0. Tony Wilton, State Farm Insurance, traditionally would bring you your scoreboard updates this afternoon. Not many scores to report, not many feeding in anyway. For all your insurance financial service needs, it's Tony Wilt, your local State Farm agent. Find him on the web at TonyWilt.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Next pitch is inside, catches the corner again. It'll be 1-1. That corner's been very consistent today, so we'll give the umpire that. I am screened from that view of the plate, so we'll just take his word for it. Runner on first. 1-1, the count to Reeves. With the lefty Beckham, Reeves will call for time. So the Rams have a 6-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. And we'll see how that plays out. Swung on a miss. Off speed came that time, and if he gets 1 and 2 to Clayton. Bradford, of course, was behind in the count when he lifted one. In the left field to score Grant Garrett for the lone run of this inning. But the Rams again on top 6-0 here over Civic on the road. Second road game of the year. They're back home on Tuesday against Triad. Another Missouri Valley foe. The runner's going. That's inside. Here comes the throw. Looks like Bradford will beat it. He'll slide under the tag. Looks like. Doesn't mean he did. That'll be a stolen base for Pat. So Reeves took it inside. That should have evened up the count at 2. Bradford's on second base, so an RBI chance for Clayton. Especially if he can go out to the field and park one in that right center field gap, that would definitely score Pat Bradford. As we're about 17 minutes shy of the top of the 6 o'clock hour, and of course, always delighted to have you here on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. 2-2 to Reeves. He'll send that opposite field way, but got a little out in front of that one, and it hits the fence at foul territory. It'll keep the count 2-2. Hard to believe we are in the 5th. 6-0 is your Ram lead, but a runner in scoring position and a 2-2 count hanging on Clayton Reeves here with the lefty. Brett Beckham trying to get out of the inning without allowing any more runs. He'll dig into the rubber, extreme right portion of it, fires home inside, and that'll be a full count. Just missed inside that time. We'll usually get that call, but just came a little too much inside for the liking of the home plate umpire. And that'll make a full count. Kudos to Civic as they were able to find a JV opponent. You'd hate to see that wasted when one team can't count. The runner's going, swung and a miss, won't matter. So a strikeout will end the inning, That's the Rams score one and strand one. It is 6-0 as we head to the bottom half of the fifth. This is Rams baseball on WMIX.
If your definition of local is Southern Illinois and adjacent states, pay no attention to this message. Hi, I'm Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Others advertise the message of being a local community bank. However, Community First Bank is the only local community bank exclusively serving Jefferson County with 5 locations and 5 ATMs. In short, loans and deposits stay local and benefit you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hometown proud Baroviax IGA. There's a better way to shop today, Baroviax IGA. If it's Baroviax, you know it's fresh for you and your family. If it's Baroviax, you got the best. Well, hometown proud you see. Hometown proud Baroviax IGA. Hometown proud Baroviax IGA.
For more content, like WMIX Sports on Facebook. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
And we, of course, glad to have you with us on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com as we head through the home half of the fifth. 6-0. Rams on top. We'll have Kyle Kirkpatrick stand in to lead us off as he will take over for Kirk Pinkerton. Kyle Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick, of course, is a 5'11" sophomore. A lot of sophomores and juniors here on the Civic team. 3 of the seniors in the starting lineup today out of the 4 on the roster. So a very young team here for Bethalto. Pretty solid team from a year ago, of course. It came into Brendan Klein Field, and they did win one on a Saturday against Mount Vernon. Kind of a pickup game, so to speak, and in essence it was picked up like 1 or 2 days prior. But when you have good weather coming, you got to take games when you can get them. Here comes, and that'll be the first pitch of the inning, missing low and away for ball 1 to Kyle Kirkpatrick. Here in the home half of the fifth, the Rams on top 6-0, and presented by Banterra Bank. Don't strike out. Take control of your health care expenses with a tax-advanced self-savings account. Banterra Bank. Banking your local style, member FDIC. Left elbow took a bruise there. As Tyler Ellis will hit his first batter of the game. Well, that's the first batter the Rams have hit this year in their third game. So Kirkpatrick will take his base and put a runner on for Beckham. Beckham wears number 1. Of course, came on in relief of Vogel back, I believe, in the third, as Vogel pitched 2 2/3. So Beckham facing his counterpart here with a runner on and nobody out. Pitch on the way out of the stretch. Now it'll be lined towards center. It'll fall in front of Thomas. No other option. So it'll be a HBP and a 1B, but 2 aboard here for Civic. So they're threatening with a runner in scoring position now. Trying to get back into this one. They're down 6-0. Glad to have you aboard. Chris Hugo here with you. Avery Barton is back at the studio. Danny Sawinski on assignment today. He'll be back most of next week, I believe. Of course, I'd actually have to look at the schedule. I just know tryouts at home on Tuesday. I've forgotten the rest of it. You'll have to pardon me. No way. Rams have 2 with us on Monday. Rams have a couple next week. I know tryout Tuesday. I believe there's a game Wednesday. And then Thursday, I know the Lady Rams have Hamco at home. Those are all with us here on WMIX. I do know Saturday the Rams travel to Mattoon to take on the Green Wave in a doubleheader. We'll have all those games for you right here on WMIX. The next first pitch to Jaron Linton, the lefty, missed outside, 1-0. A little high, too. They'll check on the runner. They have him. Pickoff play. Well done by Zach Jones getting ahead of the lead runner, Kirkpatrick, and they will wipe them off the bases. Jared Antis, one of the better pickoff maneuvers you'll ever see. I said Jared Antis, I meant Tyler Ellis. I had to be looking at the name of Jared as I was looking back at his stats from Tuesday, and then I was going to compare them with Mr. Ellis today along with Mr. Fulkerson from yesterday. Jared is pitching very well. Not a premier power pitcher by any stretch of the imagination, but very finesse. Does a great job and very effective. Of course, his team with a 6-0 lead. Now only 1 runner on and 1 out in the home half of the fifth inning with Civic trailing 6-0. Next pitch on the way, misses low. Counts 3-0. True hitters count here for Linton, the lefty, plays second base. He's done a pretty good job defensively, although hasn't had many hit his way. By this Rams team that primarily seems to hit it to the left side of the field. or strike out, at least by today's standards. The obligatory 3-0 becomes 3-1, as that's right down central from Ellis. 3 balls and a strike to Linton. Presented by Banterra Bank. With Banterra's mobile banking, you can check your accounts online right from the bleachers. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, member FDIC. And that'll be a rip in the right. Nothing anybody can do about that one. As Linton will get a base hit. Fired right back in by Reeves. And once again, runners on first and second for Civic with Shane Finkel coming up. He's 0 for 2 today. But everybody's seeming to do a pretty good job here for Civic in various capacities on the field. That JV game behind us is over. I was trying to cheat and see who they got into play. It's Maroon, so I was automatically assuming Belleville West, but you never know. Rams will have Belleville West at home this year. Of course, we'll have to go on the road to play Belleville East at some point. And then, of course, with Altoff being in the conference, the Rams will play all of Belleville this year. First pitch is en route and put in play by Finchel. It's off of Jones. They're going to hold the runner, so that'll be an E6 to allow the bases to cram. And sometimes you probably hold Zach to a higher standard just because of how good his defense is. But unfortunately, the young man will pick up an error here today. You look out around the field and you see the Rams out there and you see the various mixture of county schools and city schools the kids have come from. You're just proud to be from Jefferson County at this point with the team up 6-0 and the recent success they've had. A couple of regional championships, a couple of sectional finals appearances since the invention of the 4-class system. Of course, the first 2 years of the 4-class system, the Rams fell to Marion in regional championships as they ran into that buzzsaw that we all like to forget. Nathan Doris of the Marion Wildcats. The Rams have been blessed to play some major talent. Of course, Jay Goderici comes to mind. The Rams always close out the year with Highland. Of course, fans of Civic know what we're talking about, being in the same conference, the Mississippi Valley and all. I might have said Missouri Valley earlier. NCAA basketball obviously heavily on the brain of many as their March Madness getting started. At least as I consider getting started today. I know they've had play-in games. Today is when the real action begins. And this is when the at-bat of Corey Howard will commence. 0 for 2 today, but the base is loaded. Just one out here in the bottom half of the fifth. His team trailing 6-0, but with one swing of the bat, anything can happen. We'll have a timeout. Howard will step out of the box and take another practice cut. 2 up for the Rams from the 6th. It'll be 8-9-1. We'll see if the order stays the same with Harrison, Williams, and Jones. Corey Howard going to try to keep the inning alive and get some runs across the plate. As Ellis will miss low and away on the first pitch. It's 1-0. Tyler's done a good job today. You can't fault him for his effort. Shut out thus far, trying to keep it intact. It's going to be awfully tough with the bases loaded. Whip may have taken a minor hit today. It'll be a little bit above 1, but not too shabby for the high schooler. Here it comes from Ellis inside. It's 2-0. Rams and Triad have seen some battles on the baseball field. That'll be on Tuesday, we remind you. That'll be our next Rams baseball broadcast. Of course, last year, remember the Lady Rams and Jefferson County Invite went 1-1. They beat Woodlawn in the first game, and then they lost to DuPont in the second. This time they'll swap orders. They'll play DuPont first and Woodlawn second. It's now 3-0, high and tight to Howard. Lady Rams will then have Hamco on a Thursday afternoon. That was a very chilly Thursday last year on the road at McLeansboro. We were unable to do that game. Just remember the day being pretty clearly is they're going to try to throw and get the runner. A run's going to score as it gets away from the second baseman. So Civic gets on the board here. Great heads up by Beckham to help out his own cause. He will waltz on in. After the pickoff play, seems to fail the Rams there. Ellis just threw it wide to the right of Williams. Williams had to outstretch that left hand and just couldn't get to it. It ends up going off the webbing of his glove. A very tip-top with some of the stitchiness. And into the outfield. So runners on first and second, 1 out. 6-1 your score, and Civic gets across the plate for the first time today, and Ellis will back off the plate. Count is 3-0 to the catcher, Corey Howard. He's also a sophomore. And with runners on first and second, we'll see if Ellis can get out of the inning, maybe get a double play ball. Here comes, right on the outside corner. It'll be 3-1. Of course, the outside corner to right-handers, the inside to left hasn't been quite as kind as that left plate corner has been to both pitchers today. So a consistent zone here. It appears to be offset of the plate right to left a little bit. But both pitchers benefited today. All three have, actually. Wow, that's going to be a long strike. Down the first base side, well out of play, maybe into the next field. In fact, it does. It just clears the dugout on the third base side in the JV field. But all it is a long strike, and it'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes to count full with runners on first and second. With 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 6-1 your score. The Civic's played at 1 here, and now that's going to walk the bases loaded. That was in the dirt. Right stayed down central, so you're happy with this horizontal location. It's the vertical location that left a bit to be desired. And it would appear as if we're going to have somewhat of a change here by Tim Holloway. Ellis gave it a heck of an effort today. He's not going to be able to finish this one out. You assume he'll stay in the game, however. Let's see what we're going to get. I would have to assume Zonders. But you know what happens when you assume. Not going to be Zonders. It is going to be Zonders. They're running all over the place out there. We're going to figure it out. Going to be Jones again? It's going to be Jones. We saw Anthony standing on first. So Zonders will slide over to second, and Ellis will come out. So Jay Bird will take first base. They're going to try to give him some rest today, so we won't have to do any throwing of any kind. But if you have to send him somewhere, it might as well be first. But Zach Jones will pitch. This will be his second appearance. He came on and got a hold and a save on Tuesday at Salem, preserving a 3-2 victory for the Rams. Anthus picked up the win in that one. Of course, your winner yesterday, having pitched 5 innings. Unfortunately, not shutout ball, but Fulkerson had 7 Ks yesterday in 5 innings worth of work. He allowed a run at the purse, and then shutout ball the rest of the way. Anthus did allow the 2 runs, but man, between this pitching staff the Rams had, especially Jared Anthus and Brock Fulkerson to start, Ellis pitching some nice innings today, you certainly hope for more to come. It'll be Zach Jones on in relief, that appearance to the mound. Of course, it's presented by Ford Square and King City Chrysler Center. King City Chrysler Center has the all-new Dodge Caliber. Caliber cranks up the sedan and exudes attitude with every turn. Receive huge cash discounts on the all-new Caliber at King City Chrysler Center in Mount Vernon. Ford Square and King City Chrysler, you can count on us. As we near the top of the 6 o'clock hour, we'll handle that in just a moment. Look not yet shut on Ellis as he leaves the bases loaded and just the 1 out. Some nice stadium music coming in off the iPod. Had great music selections here today, especially when I first got here, and even on into the ball game itself between innings and during mound visits and the like, as Brian Ricci will step in, 1 for 2 today. He grounded out to third to Sawyer Harrison back in the 4th. He singled back in the 2nd for the first hit of the ball game, and we're going to hope he doesn't get a hit here if you're rooting for the orange and black. It's 6-1. Rams have a 5-run cushion here, but you fear that one swing of the bat could change it. We'll see what happens, and that's going to be fouled straight back. Jones a little bit different of a pitcher, different composure, different makeup than that of Tyler Ellis. Jones is going to be more the type to come right after you with a fastball assortment. Ellis usually relies more on finesse. So we'll see what Zach comes with here. The right-hander looks in, waiting for the sign from his catcher, Garrett. And the 0-1 come, and the 0-1's a grounder off the glove of Harrison. That'll be in the outfield. 1 run will score. They'll hold up the next, and the bases will remain loaded with 1 out. Brown and Bradford had some trouble with it left field, but none of the runners really seem to be paying attention for Civic. So they score 2 runs here in the 5th. Still just 1 out on the RBI single, because it was off of the glove, yes, to Sawyer Harrison, but the only way he was going to have a definite chance of that is if he was just about 3 or 4 inches taller, because it just went off the top of this glove, so I cannot give him an error there. But the bases remain loaded for Nick Vogel. He started off the game, had a rough start, make a difference here, down 6-2, and he'll swing and miss the first fastball. It's 0-1. Jones already ready to go. You got to be ready when Zach is here. As Vogel will take his time standing in. It's dug in. Wait on his back foot. Here comes the pitch, and he will send that past Harrison. The play is short. The throw is in time. That scores another run with 2 outs. So 6-3 on the put out. His second baseman is now Zane Saunders. For your shortstop is Matt Williams, and Williams has shown some incredible range today. As that'll at least put another on the scoreboard. However, it's 6-3. Howard moves on over to third. Ritchie over to second on the 6'3" fielder's choice. Alabama Casey Fair, he's a 6-foot junior. Pitches and plays first base. He's been at first today. Now with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 5th inning, a 6-3 ball game. This one's a little bit closer than what you want. That's the first pitch to Fair. Is in the dirt inside. It'll be 1-0. This is where it can get interesting, especially against a young team like Civic, where anything is going to be possible at any given time, especially as they look to find their makeup over the course of 2012, and this being their first game. Next pitch, sent foul. Wow. Watch out if you're on deck, Mr. Helmkamp. That came right off of the post of the fence, just past the screen here on the backstop, right back into the field of play. Counts even, however, 1-1, as interesting of a strike as that may have been. The Fear. Runners are in scoring position, 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 5th, 6-3 ball game. All 3 Civic runs have come in this inning. Nice breaking pitch by Jones down central. It's 1-2. If you combine Zach and Jones, you get Zones, however. It kind of works out. As the lefty Fair will stand in. Nice long drive to Civics. Nice little getaway, of course, as this is fouled down the third baseline into the adjacent field. Stays 1-2. I know I myself I took plenty of time to get here, not having ever been to this beautiful community before. About 1:30, 1:45 in the afternoon. Made a nice trip of it. Glad I did. Here comes another curveball, swung on a miss. And that will send us to the top of the 6th, but the damage done. 3 runs by Civic Memorial in this half of the inning makes it 6-3 Mount Vernon. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
Hey, moms and dads, don't stay up at night trying to figure out how to pay for your kids' education. There's no need to worry. I send my kids to Rend Lake College. RLC offers the same high-quality education as a 4-year school at a fraction of the cost. Plus, they get to stay close to home. Tuition, room, and board are like $19 grand every year at the 4 years, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. At RLC, tuition, books, and supplies are only approximately $4 grand. That's Math 101. And with over 100 degree and certificate programs, they have the exact courses your kids need to be well on their way to a great career. Give your college-bound child the quality education they deserve without breaking the bank. Rend Lake College is the right choice. Whether your student plans to transfer to a university or train for direct entry into the workforce, call RLC at 437-5321 to speak to a counselor. I actually logged on to rlc.edu. That's rlc.edu.
This is your home for Rams Radio, WMIX.
And welcome back to Civic Memorial, Bethalto, where the Mount Vernon Rams have a 6-3 lead. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. Don't see any changes to the lineup just yet. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Sawyer Harrison, Matt Williams, and Zach Jones. Landon Thomas to follow, should anybody get aboard. Bottom of the 5th, very kind to Civic. Of course, we'll have a new first baseman, Ben Walker, for Civic Memorial. We'll have a right-handed pitcher. Pitcher will be Brad Moore. We start out in left field. And as we notice, we'll tell you any other defensive changes here for Civic Memorial. Catcher remains the same, Corey Howard. You'll recognize that sophomore in the senior's body, as we've said before. But we're glad to have you with us on WMIX. The Rams have 6 runs on unofficially 7 hits. Civic, meanwhile, has 3 runs in the latter part of the 5th inning. We'll let you know just what they have here in a moment, as I have not been keeping the best of updated books here this afternoon. However, both teams have left some people on base. The Rams have stranded 5 over the course of the game. Civic, meanwhile, stranded a few more. Three runs on 3 hits that last inning for Civic. A couple of walked batsmen and a hit batsman who was picked off. First pitch of the inning is on its way from Brad Moore, and that'll be a towering foul ball behind us by Sawyer Harrison for strike 1. So this is where our new pitcher comes in, Brad Moore. Again, first baseman is now Ben Walker. Helmkamp is still at third. And we'll get to know, again, any defensive changes probably as they come up through the realm of the batting order. On ball that time will be a grounder to short. Misplayed. Harrison races down to first in time. Sawyer is out via the 6-3 put-out. Interestingly enough, who will be your Community First Bank of the Heartland Player of the Game? With 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts, Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC. But everywhere the Bean Insurance Post game show, Matt Williams will stand in once to the run scored. As an infield bunt single back in the 4th. This time he'll swing and miss first offering. It's nothing in 1. Both teams have struggled somewhat defensively. 4 errors on the day for Civic. Of course, as I add it up, the Rams only have 1, maybe 2. However, both teams have stranded the runners. Next pitch will curve inside. Great curveball by Moore, and that'll catch the inside corner. 0-2 here to Matt Williams. Matt Williams is one of those kids, he just kind of looked at somebody to help fill a void with a middle infield departure from last year. And he has done a nice job along with Zach Jones of stepping up. Next pitch, breaking pitch, it's a ground ball to third. Scooped up by Helmkamp, fires across the diamond to Ben Walker. And that'll be the second out on the 5-3 put-out. So a 6-3 and a 5-3 to get us started. 2 outs, nobody aboard for the Rams in the top half of the 6th. And that'll bring up Zach Jones. Zach, now a senior, hard to believe. Feels like he's played for nearly forever. First pitch on the way, and that'll get hit away inside. Unfortunately, nobody aboard for the Rams. Mr. Young helping me out. I appreciate it. Wednesday, of course, the Rams are at Waterloo. So we'll make the MVC trifecta over the course of the next few games. Here at Civic today, home against Triad, and then to Waterloo. Sincerely can't wait to get to Waterloo. Beautiful new high school they have there. One of the finer new high schools in Southern Illinois. Just made the trek to Waterloo for basketball over the course of the season. I can't wait to go back for baseball next week. 1-0 to Jones is high, but he'll offer and send it foul down the third base side. Should scoot out of play. It'll even things up here to Zach. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mount Vernon Rams Baseball Booster Club will have their pork chop lunch fundraiser. That's tomorrow, Friday, March the 16th, from 11 to 1. That's the morning into the afternoon. Wouldn't it be 9 in the morning? That'd be kind of awkward. So it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church. Lunches are $7. That includes sandwich, chips, and a drink. And First United Methodist is the large architectural wonder on the corner of 12th and Main in Mount Vernon. Here comes 1-1. That's Tomahawk, first base side. Stevens will pick it up. Step on first. In time. Just beat Jones to the bag, so that'll go down as a 3 unassisted. And that'll do it for us through 5.5. Your score, the Mount Vernon Rams 6, the Civic Memorial Eagles 3. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
After disappointing results in last year's sectional championships, Mount Vernon Rams Baseball and Lady Rams Softball look for more hardware in 2012. WMIX is your home for every pitch of Rams Baseball and a great assortment of Lady Rams Softball. Tune in to AM 940 on game day and log on to mywithersradio.com to hear the Rams and Lady Rams worldwide. Mount Vernon Rams Baseball and Lady Rams Softball only on WMIX and mywithersradio.com. Presented by Banterra Bank, banking with local style.
With the leaves changing colors, the temperature starting to drop, and the sun going down a little earlier every day, that must mean fall is in full swing. And fall is a perfect time to buy a house. Hi, this is Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist with People's National Bank. Rates are still low, and now is the perfect time to purchase a new home. Stop by and see how I can get you into a new home this fall.
Loan subject to credit approval, People's National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
More baseball action ahead on WMIX and mywithersradio.com.
And welcome back to Civic Memorial. The Mount Vernon Rams lead 6-3 as we head to the home half of the 6th. Getting us started will be Jansen Helmkamp. He, of course, is the 8th batter. 9-1 to follow as Zach Jones is back on him for another inning of work. Bradford, Thomas, and Reeves left to right in the outfield. First pitch of the inning from Jones will be chopped right back. It'll be a high chop back to Jones. He'll step off the mound over to first to Anthus. In time for the 1-3. From third to first is Sawyer Harrison, filling in nicely for Colton Vetter. He's been a nice surprise at the hot corner. We all knew he was capable. Of course, you also have Matt Williams who slid over to short to take over for Jones now on the hill. Your second baseman is Zane Saunders, been there for an inning. Jared Antis, your first baseman. Behind the plate is still Grant Garrett. Zach Jones, your pitcher. Here comes the first pitch. Catches the outside corner to Kyle Kirkpatrick. Patrick, a common name all across Illinois. You think of Mount Vernon, Sasser, Johnson City, Bethalto as well, apparently. Next pitch misses outside to the right-hander. It's 1-1 strike. Rams baseball, as always, presented in part thanks to kind folks, and we'll find out after this pitch. It's fouled over the first base dugout, 1-2. Like Second Chance Auto, you can get the car you want at Second Chance. They have the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, priced at $10,000 in one location. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, proud Rams and Lady Rams supporters. Officially be your halftime show, people, but no halftime here in baseball. The next pitch misses up and in. 2-2 to Kirkpatrick. He is batting in place of Pinkerton. Of course, Pinkerton went 1 for 1 today. Kirkpatrick was actually plunked an inning ago, but then picked off at second base. 2-2's coming, swung on a miss, strikeout. That's 2 outs here in the 6th. So the Rams trying to pick up a second road win this year. They're 1-0 at home, 1-0 on the road, trying to make it 2-0, and trying to make it 3-0 overall. As time called, of course, to let Moore settle in. Pitch is on the way and misses outside to the right-hander Moore. Moore is 0-1. He grounded out to third his first time up, back in the first inning to lead things off. Next pitch is on the way, and that's going to miss low, 2-0. Couldn't do it without Banterra Bank. Let's get technical about going green. Banterra offers free online bill pay and online statements. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, the official voice of the Rams. Next, 2-0 begets 2-1, as that just caught the inside black of the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Brad Moore. Gave way to Beckham, the pitcher, in the order, but was reinserted as the pitcher. Same spot. Here it comes. 2-1, high and tight, 2-2. 3-1, rather. Learn how to add, Hugo. There we go, written down properly now. As Jones looks in, tried not to give up the walk with 2 outs. Inside out over to third, kinda. Harrison will pick it up, fire to first. Tag by Anthus. Did he get him? Looked like he might have missed the tag, but he apparently got it, so a good tag by Anthus. Off the play, 5-3 to close us out through 6. It's 6-3 Rams. This is Mount Vernon Baseball on WMIX.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount, too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we needed help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Mike Race. You're listening to the Rams on WMIX.
And welcome back to Civic Memorial High School. Well, nearby anyway. It's the Mount Vernon Rams battling the Civic Memorial Eagles in a rematch from a year ago. The Rams lead this one 6-3 as we head to the top half of the 7th. It'll be Landon Salmus, Colin Young, and Grant Garrett. 2, 3, and 4. 5, if anybody gets aboard. Number 5, of course, being Zane Saunders. He's played well today. Of course, you tend to come to expect it out of this Ram team. Sectional finalists back-to-back, hoping to get there again this year. Don't know what to expect out of the rest of the South Southern. You know, Marion could always make strides. Carbondale looking to improve. He expects Centralia to have a pretty good team this year. You assume that will be the regional. Salem now 2A, so you won't see them in the postseason. And with that, anything is capable of happening. First pitch, Thomas is going to be sent to right center field, tailing back towards the center field. It'll be over his head. So Thomas is headed for second. He'll make the turn, and he'll be waved on to third base. Will it be a triple? It gets away. He'll be held down at third base. So a triple by Landon Thomas. How do you do? One pitch, 3 bags, and that'll bring up Colin Young with an RBI chance, and he could use it. He could use it here today. Had a pretty good day yesterday. Put 1 for 2. He walked and had a single and a run scored. I think he went 1 for 4 on Tuesday, but definitely capable of putting the bat to the ball. It'll be interesting to see how these new bats affect everybody throughout the season. We know games will eventually be less offensive in terms of runs scored, not in terms of defending folks. As we wait the first pitch, too young. It'll be high, but it'll drop down. Good sinker there by Moore. And it's 0-1. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zerwinski on assignment today. I'm able to make the trip. Let's see what we got going. Moore out of the windup. Here comes the right-hander, and nice breaking action again. That'll just catch the inside corner. It's 0-2 to Collins. Let's see some Mount Vernon faithful in attendance. They made the trek over here today. Civic has some fans in the stands as well. A lot of students here. JV team making the turnover after they got one done over there. The Rams JV team not here, obviously. Basketball banquet is here tonight. Right. Back at home, rather. As it's a 1-2 count to Young. Let's see what happens with Colin here. 1-2 the count. Moore, the typical glove with a face pitcher. Don't see a lot of that necessarily in high school. And he'll go off speed that time. A changeup on Colin. He'll strike out swinging, and I'll bring up Grant Garrett with an RBI out. Garrett's come alive over the course of the past couple of days once he's gotten a rhythm. Reached on an error his last time up. He did come around to score. That's the first time he actually played at his own run in that slot. Reeves handled the first 2 runs of the ballgame. But Grant is 2 for 2 today. See what he can do here with a runner on third. Can he pick up the run and make it 7-3? First pitch is low and away. It'll be ball 1 to GG. Time called. Looks like maybe an intentional walk to Grant Garrett. Just said, we don't want to pitch this guy anymore. Definitely not a balk, obviously, because the runner didn't come home. So they intentionally walked Grant Garrett. And they'll get to Zane. I don't know if that's any better. So runners at the corners, 1 gone, as Zane Saunders has to be licking his chops here. So when he has an RBI chance, the center fielder's playing straight away, and the corner outfielder's somewhat close to the line. He can sneak one in the line, still has plenty of territory there with the dimension so deep. It also has nice gaps. Not to mention with the infield at normal depth, a gap up the middle if he can line drive. Here comes. Saunders knows what he's capable of, but fouls that off the first base dugout side. 0-1. You have to like this opportunity. This is Zane Saunders. Again, I'm very lazy about turning my cell phone volume down. My apologies. Well, Back to the Future never hurt anybody, though. Where we're going, we don't need roads. 7th inning action here. Top half of it. Rams have runners at the corners, 1 out. They're up 6-3 over Civic. Brad Moore out there on the hill. He is the 3rd Civic pitcher of the afternoon. As we are well into the evening hours. I neglected to pause for station identification after I told every partner I would. I lied to him. This is WMIX Mount Vernon, Marion Effingham, a free service of Withers Broadcasting. Saunders stands in. 0-1. They'll check. They'll make the third, look back to first. And we wait. We're out of the stretch, the right-hander. Again, start out in left field today. Vogel sifts out to left. He was the original starter. Vogel replaced him, and then he was reinserted into the same batting slot. And they'll have a conference here at the mound. It'll just be the catcher. Howard will try to settle down his pitcher. They'll try to establish his signals. There's something, even though there's no runner on second. Something has drawn the ire of Brad Moore. 1 out. Runners at the corners here in the top half of the 7th inning. Rams on top 6-3. Of course, you can score an extra base hit with Banterra's Visa debit card. It provides the convenience of a checking account and a card. Banterra Bank, banking with local style, member FDIC. Saunders stands in against Moore. He'll let that one slip by on the outside corner. It'll be strike 2, 0-2. Rams have 6 runs on 7 hits unofficially. They've stranded 5, tried not to make it 7 or more here, depending on what happens. Just the one out here in the top half of the 7th. Still a 6-3 ball game. Rams looking to go home happy. They'll have a tough task coming up at the home half of the 7th. Next one is fouled off of the mask of Howard. You're glad they use those new hockey-style masks now. A lot safer than what they used to use before, and even safer than when they didn't use really much anything other than the mask itself. Pat Bradford came out to retrieve the foul ball, and we look to get going again. The count still 0-2. Lights are on here at Civic. 6-3 ball game, top of the 7th. Runners at the corners for Zane Saunders. Brad Moore out of the stretch. Nobody's changed positioning. Infield at normal depth. Center fielder straight away. Outfielder still guarding the corners. That's going to be popped foul. Third base side will go JV field. No. Rolls under the bleachers behind the backstop of the JV field. Their JV field a lot nicer than many varsity fields across Southern Illinois. It's one of the few places we've come that's actually had an actual press box. So we appreciate that nonetheless. Just the amenities are nice. Here comes another one. Saunders will take it. It should be 1-2 still. After a couple of foul balls in succession by Zane. And, of course, 2 for 3 today. He popped out to first his last time up, but there's a single and an RBI double to his credit. But in all fairness, he is not across the plate himself. See if he can change that luck here and get aboard and score these runners. At least the one in scoring position with runners at the corners and one out. Top 7, here we go. Saunders will put it in play. That'll bloop into right center field. It'll get away from the center fielder to the wall. Here comes the lead run to score. That's Thomas. Coming around, being waved around is Garrett. He'll come around all the way from first base. The throw to third won't be in time as Saunders slides around the tag. I never saw a glove or anything get near that ball, so we're going to credit Zane with an 2 RBI triple. Just for lack of better eyes. And that'll score 2, and the Rams lead this one 8-3. That brings up Pat Bradford. Bradford had an RBI single his last time up. He reached base in the 3rd and then struck out back in the 2nd. So pretty good day at the plate for Pat. With only one out and a runner in scoring position, 8-3 Ram lead. This next pitch sails away. That'll get to the backstop. Coming around, trying to score is Saunders. He will slide in. Tag not in time. It is 9-3 Rams. That's a wild pitch, ladies and gentlemen, as that catcher never had a chance to get that one. Pressure got to Moore that time, paramounted if you want to call it that. The young man allowed another one to score, but he has performed excellently. In relief for Civic, got some run support. 1/2 inning to go. But now it's going to be that much tougher for the Eagles as they come up at the home half of the 7th inning. Here in game number 1 of the year. Pat Bradford stands in. Moore returns to the windup. Here comes a pitch. Fastball that time is going to be popped foul. First base side. And gets out of play as it hits the concrete. So 0-1 here to Pat Bradford. Baseball banquet tonight, of course, in the cafeteria at Mount Vernon Township High School. Scott Gamber and his Mount Vernon Rams will share some nice accolades and award some honors tonight. Of course, some of the best basketball players actually playing in this one. And one won't be there due to a commitment. Peoria. We'll tell you more about that after this 0-1 pitch to Bradford. Catch the outside corner, make it 0-2. 1-2, sorry. Trevor Flota, of course, shooting 3-pointers in Peoria. Should be done by now. We'll check the results on that here in just a moment. He made it to state in the 3-point showdown. So he's not here. Reeves will miss the banquet because he's here. Colton Metter will miss the banquet because he's here. But the JV Rams didn't come to play because Scott Gamber, JV baseball coach, is also your head basketball coach. So the next pitch to Bradford misses low and away. So Scotty is back doing his job as the head basketball coach tonight with the basketball banquet. Certainly can't fault anybody for that. It's important to get those banquets in. The Rams baseball team always has a nice banquet. Here comes the 2-2. Bradford will reach up for that one. Send it foul behind us. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rams baseball presented by Banterra Bank. Of course, if you missed getting to the bank during the stretch, don't worry. That's why they have online banking in the stands. Check it on your phone. Banterra cell phone banking. Banterra Bank. Banking with local style. 2-2 the count on Bradford. Base is empty. One out. 9-3 is the Ram lead, and that'll be high overhead. Almost wild pitch that time from Moore, and it'll be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It all started with a triple by Landon Thomas, and then another triple by Zane Zonders. Here comes. Bradford will get a piece of that and send that for a ride towards left field, positioning himself. His left fielder to make a grab, and that'll be out number 2. That'll bring up Clayton Reeves. As we near the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour, one of the longer games this year, as we're going to go the distance, obviously. As Reeves stands in, takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Beat Insurance post-game show will be brief after this one. Beat Insurance is an independent agency that can do the insurance shopping for you. Beat Insurance has multiple top insurance companies from which to choose with great rates for your family. Give them a call, 244-BEAM. That's 244-BEAM. Reeves will send one just past the third baseman off the top of his glove, and Reeves will run it out. Clayton gets the board. That'll bring up Sawyer Harrison. 1 on, 2 out, top of the 7th. 9-3 is the Ram lead here. Civic, as you may recall, scored 3 runs in the home half of the 6th. Not like it would matter, because even if the Rams were up 10, they'd still have to come back and play the bottom of the inning with them being the road team. This one's going the distance. Moore looks in on Sawyer Harrison. The runner Reeves on first and get a little bit of a lead. Pitch is on the way. Beeline towards the ground, and that's going to be ball 1. Somewhat of a disadvantage here for Civic. First game of the year on a Thursday afternoon against the Rams, come in already 2-0, having played a couple of games. Younger team looking to find their identity, apparently. Many great things are expected from them, not only this year, but in the future. 1-0's coming. Runner's going. Reeves on his way to second base, and he is out. Might have slid under tag, but throw beat him there, and that's going to get you every time with a clean swipe. That'll do us through 6.5. It's 9-3 Rams. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
If your definition of local is Southern Illinois and adjacent states, pay no attention to this message. Hi, I'm Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Others advertise the message of being a local community bank. However, Community First Bank is the only local community bank exclusively serving Jefferson County with 5 locations and 5 ATMs. In short, loans and deposits stay local and benefit you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
We try to keep up with all the state-of-the-art equipment here at Schmidt Chevrolet, and I think that's really paid off. I think customers have a lot of confidence in our work because of that. We have an enclosed service drive that, you can get out of the climate. You just pull in, it's heated, you're always dry. There's no standing out in the rain describing what's wrong with your vehicle. So we're very fortunate to have that.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Back to Rams Baseball, powered by Banterra Bank.
And we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's do or die time here for the Civic Memorial Eagles on the road at Bethalto. Chris, Hugo with you. Avery Barton is back in the studio. As we will start with Jaron Linton, second baseman. So it's 2, 3, and 4. Pencil and Howard to follow as Civic is down to their final 3 outs. The Rams on top, 9-3. Here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to the lefty, Linton. Just missed. It's 1-0. I was kind of gazing behind me at Illinois 255. The field is right next to it, but no exit, so you have to go through town. Get to see Bethalto. Here it comes, the next one, 1-0. Fouled down the third base side. Harrison and crew give chase, but it scoots out of play into the bullpen. Near the batting cage, it'll be 1-1. Linton, of course, came around to score back in the 5th. Prior to that, he was 0 for 2. Bean Insurance Post-Game Show is going to be coming up next. Chances are you're paying too much for auto insurance. Discounts away to the Bean Insurance Agency. You won't know how much you can save until you give them a call. 244-BEAN. Here comes the next pitch. Ground ball to first. Antis doesn't come up with it. So reaching on an error will be Jaron Linton. That's unfortunate. It allows a base runner on board. That happens. Baseball Booster Club Pork Shop Lunch fundraisers tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. First United Methodist Church. Lunches are $7. We'll try to remember to post that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. WMIX Sports, not 94 Sports. That's our Twitter. First pitch is on the way to Shane Finsel, and that's a strike from the widest portion of the plate. 0-1 with a runner on first and one out here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. Rams lead this one 9-3, looking to close her out. Next pitch misses low and inside, 1-1. I instead one out because I'm writing my book in the wrong column. See, you let me work by myself once in a while, and bad things tend to happen. As the next pitch gets to the outside corner. 1-2. So a good look that time by Zach Jones. Again, more of a fastball pitcher. Does have some other in his repertoire, but primarily going to be fastball, and maybe some others. Here comes. Goes with a breaking pitch that time. Misses low and away. The count's even at 2. So runner on first, nobody out, bottom of the seventh. These will be the toughest 3 outs to get as the Rams lead 9-3. It's been a long day. Rams looking to close her out. Here comes. That'll be sent towards center. Thomas going to have to go back to get it. Does. He reaches up with his glove hand and pulls it down. That'll be your first out on the fly out to center. And that will bring up Corey Howard, the catcher. No scores to report today, but they would have been brought to you by Tony Wilton State Farm Insurance. For all your insurance financial service needs, see Tony in Mount Vernon on the corner of 42nd South Water Tower. Online at TonyWilton.com is the first pitch to Howard. Misses low and away, and the right-hander takes ball 1. Back on the air Saturday with your Saturday Sports Show, 8:08 till 10 o'clock, right here on AM 940 and online at MyWithersRadio.com. We'll have Lady Rams softball making their season radio debut on Monday, the Jefferson County Invitational. The next pitch is the fastball outside, 2-0. They will actually start off their season, if I'm not mistaken, at the Fairfield Tournament on Saturday. Next pitch is on the way, put in play, but it's foul. Third base side, just past the coaches over there at third base. It's 2-1. Rams trying to get out of here, get these final 2 outs and go home winners. The bus has already started, but certainly don't want to jinx the team. That last out's the hardest to get, and we haven't gotten the second to last. Well, this could be easy. It's going to be a ground ball to Williams. He'll race over to second, throw to first. Well, the bus man knew what was coming. Shortstop, unassisted to step on the bag, and then fires to first. It'll be a 6-3 double play to end the game, and Matty Williams there when you need him. We'll go ahead and take a break. The Rams win this one 9-3 over Civic Memorial on the road. We'll come back with your Bean Insurance postgame show. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
If you want a successful business, you need good partners. And if your need is printing, you won't find better partners than Mark and Carrie Smith.
Helping people is what we love.
But we needed help with our financing.
That's why the Smiths and hundreds of local businesses trust Banterra. Banterra is the area's #1 financial partner, offering commercial loans, treasury management, and remote deposit services. With Banterra as your partner, you can concentrate on what you do best. Banterra, banking with local style.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Your heart health is too important to ignore, and St. Mary's Good Samaritan wants to help educate you about your heart risk factors before it's too late. So mark your calendar and tell your friends about the upcoming St. Mary's Good Samaritan Heart Expo and Health Fair on Saturday, March 24th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Holiday Inn in Mount Vernon. You'll have a chance to have a heart risk profile blood test completed for just $30, as well as a number of free health screenings, a chance to learn your diabetes risk, find out more about the link between sleep problems and heart disease, and much more. To reduce wait times for blood testing, you are encouraged to pre-register now by calling 1-888-257-6098. That's 1-888-257-6098. For most accurate results, be sure to fast for 8 hours prior to blood testing. Do it for your health. Attend the St. Mary's Good Samaritan Heart Expo and Health Fair on Saturday, March 24th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
If I could see into the future, you know what I'd want to know? I'd want to know how the whole thing is going to turn out. Did I make the right decisions for my business? Helping my daughter memorize all 50 states in alphabetical order. Did it really matter?
Understanding that the future is about planning, not worrying, is why Erie Insurance is above all in service. Auto, home, business, and life. Your Erie agent is waiting for you.
Your Erie agent in Mount Vernon is the Bean Insurance Agency. Get a quote at 242-6017.
This is Mount Vernon Rams baseball on WMIX. The Bean Insurance postgame show starts now.
Independent agencies keep the customer in mind. Bean Insurance has relationships with dozens of insurance companies, allowing you to get the right price with the right service, regardless of your personal history. Call Bean Insurance or stop by for the right coverage with a personal touch. Chris Hugo here with you. Danny Zawinski on assignment. Of course, Avery Barton is back at the studio. Rams win this one over Civic Memorial on the road, 9-3. The Rams are 3-0 on the year. Next week, they have a busy week against the Mississippi Valley, one of the premier 3A baseball conferences in the state. So it's good to get your licks in early against teams out of the NBC. They plagued the Rams last year, but Rams are going to try to return the favor this year. And it's always been an NBC team that has stood the Rams' way in a sectional championship. Now, if you're the Rams, you just hope to get back there this year. And they're off to a good start. 3-0 on the year. Civic falls to 0-1. Your Heartland Accounting postgame stats, the Rams had 9 runs on 10 hits with 1 error, 4 left on base. Civic had 3 runs, get this, on 8 hits, 4 errors. They stranded 8. Stranded 8 runners today, and you're going to have that happen. You're going to have a tough time winning some ball games, but they'll get it figured out. Those stats calculated, certified even by Heartland Accounting. Get started right. Let Heartland Accounting help make business a success. Heartland Accounting, 3000 Broadway, Suite 2B, your small business expert. Not much left to do here. We'll remind you of the final score. Mount Vernon 9, Civic 3. We need to come back and give you a Community First Bank of the Heartland player of the game, so we'll take a break, come back, and get that done. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
Well, it happens every spring. You need a great quality vehicle, and that's where Second Chance Auto comes in. Family owned for the past 32 years, Second Chance Auto has been the cure for spring new car fever. No one has a better selection of vehicles priced under $10,000. Almost all their vehicles come with a generous 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty. There are no dock fees, no shipping fees, and no processing fees like those new car dealerships. Just low prices. Second Chance Auto. Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 242-4582. Second Chance Auto.
If your definition of local is Southern Illinois and adjacent states, pay no attention to this message. Hi, I'm Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Others advertise a message of being a local community bank. However, Community First Bank is the only local community bank exclusively serving Jefferson County with 5 locations and 5 ATMs. In short, loans and deposits stay local and benefit you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let's go back to the field, powered by Banterra Bank.
And we welcome you back to Bethalto Civic Memorial, the Mount Vernon Rams. 9-3 winners over the Eagles. This is your Bean Insurance postgame show. We're going to wrap it up and give you your Community First Bank of the Heartland player of the game. He was 2 for 2 today. His slot had 4 runs come across the plate. He had a couple of runs batted in. That's Grant Garrett. So great effort by Grant today. Help the Rams win this one 9-3. Great traditions aren't given, they're earned through hard work and commitment. That's just what Community First Bank of the Heartland believes in. Community First Bank of the Heartland. Proud sponsors of the Mount Vernon Rams, a great tradition. Our schedule, local sports-wise, is as follows. Saturday Sports Show on Saturday morning from 8:08 until 10 o'clock. AM 940 online and all this on AM 940 and mywithersradio.com. So remember the station, remember the website, and listen the rest of the way. As Monday, about 3:55, we'll have the Jefferson County Invitational from Lincoln Park as the Lady Rams will take on DuQuoin, followed by Woodlawn. All get started about 3:55 or so. Then what else do we have? Tuesday, we have Rams baseball against Triad. It'll be about your 4:15 pregame. Wednesday, to Waterloo for Rams baseball. Thursday, it's Lady Rams softball against Hamilton County at home. And on Saturday, we travel to Coles County. The Mattoon Green Wave will await with a baseball doubleheader at 1 o'clock, 12:50 pregame. All right here on AM 940 and online at mywithersradio.com. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back with you Saturday morning for the Saturday Sports Show. Find out our guest list on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, probably sometime on Friday night. or Saturday morning. Until then, for Danny Serwinski on assignment today, for Avery Barton back to the studio, and everyone at Withers Broadcasting on behalf of our sponsors, thank you for listening to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball. We hope we did you justice. Mount Vernon 9, Civic Memorial 3 is your final. I'm Chris Hugo. Good night from Madison County.
Thank you for listening to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball on WMIX and online at mywithersradio.com. Rams Baseball has been presented by the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams, Banterra Bank. Banking with local style. The Mount Vernon Rams on WMIX are also sponsored in part by Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us, Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital. Raising the bar. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. Rend Lake College. Visit your virtual counselor at rlc.edu. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois, Heartland Accounting, All Stars and Stitches, Bean Insurance, Central Christian Church, and People's National Bank. Your home for news, talk, sports, and America's best music. WMIX.